American League Division Series presented by Good Sam. They've waited 13 years for a home playoff game here on the south side of Chicago, and they have one with their backs to the wall tonight. The Astros lead the White Sox 2-0 in the series. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, Adam Amin of the World Series champions, AJ Pierzynski, and fresh off a 17-win campaign, Adam Wainwright from the St. Louis Cardinals, kind enough to be with us tonight as well. AJ, let's start with this Houston Astros offense in the first two games. They are deep, and that has provided a problem for the White Sox.
Well, there's a reason they led all of baseball in scoring this year, Adam, and that's because their offense 1 through 9 is better than anybody else's. Tonight, they made some adjustments. They took the batting champion of the American League, and they're hitting him 7. The other 6 guys ahead of him have been on fire. They all have RBIs except Jose Altuve. Only thing he's done this series, score 4 runs, get on base, light the fuse to get this Astros offense going. They hit for power, they get big hits, they're not afraid of the situation. They've been in the postseason the last 5 years. These guys can go, and tonight the White Sox have their work ahead of them if they want to win this game.
The last time the White Sox hosted a home playoff game, AJ was behind the plate for it. They were down 2-0. They won Game 3, and they did it behind very good pitching. That's what it's going to take tonight, and they turn to a 25-year-old in Dylan Cease in his first career playoff start.
And they did. They turned to a great pitcher, a guy who can be a little bit overlooked in this great rotation here in Chicago. But he's a big swing and miss guy. He has incredible stuff, a really, really outstanding fastball. He struck out 220-something guys. He is a swing and miss pitcher. He's got big time stuff. He's also got a great changeup that's like 20 miles an hour less than his fastball. That can be really unique and very hard to hit for a hitter.
He was able to strike out 10 Astros in one of the starts he faced them in this season. On the other side, a lot of youth there too. 24-year-old Luis Garcia made his postseason debut as an opener in the ALCS last year. He gets the start with the Astros trying to reach a 5th consecutive league championship series. It's the White Sox and the Astros, a 2-0 Houston series lead, but the scene has shifted to the south side of Chicago, where they've waited 4,752 days for a home playoff game. It's coming up next. Fireworks are popping off already on the south side as we get set for Game 3 of this American League Division Series. The White Sox have turned to a very young pitcher, making his first career postseason start. That's Dylan Cease. Let's find out about the game plan behind him as we check in with Tom Verducci.
Well, thanks, Adam. The path for the White Sox to get back into the series begins with Cease, as you mentioned, making his first career postseason start against an Astros lineup, hitting .417 against fastballs. That means his excellent secondary stuff, slider, curveball, changeup, will play a very important role in this game. Now, he has not finished 6 innings since August, so behind him, White Sox manager Tony La Russa has lined up Michael Kopech for multiple innings. And if there is a tomorrow, La Russa hands the ball to Carlos Rodon. The lefty has thrown only 5 innings in the last 20 days because of a sore shoulder. It is must-win time for Chicago, with a spotlight on how La Russa navigates his pitching. Adam?
There is Carlos Rodon waiting in the dugout. Remember, no Dallas Keuchel on the American League Division Series roster. It is Cease with the ball as he warms up tonight for Game 3, AJ.
Well, Dylan Cease, Tom mentioned it, and he framed it beautifully. He's got to use his off-speed. And the reason the Astros have hit him around is because of that fastball. He's 0-3 career against the Astros. He's had no success this year. The Astros, Cease misses in the strike zone. He's not wild sometimes, Adam. He throws his fastball, he throws a curveball, he throws a slider, and the changeup you mentioned, the open. But he has to be precise with those, because if he makes mistakes, Adam, to this lineup, the Astros will do damage to him.
Yeah, he's facing a lineup that's really good at hitting the fastball, but that doesn't mean he can't throw the fastball. He just has to locate it.
This is that starting lineup that Wayno was talking about. It's sponsored by Good Sam. AJ mentioned it at the top. Yuli Gurriel, the batting champion, is going to balance out the lineup a little bit. The hotter hands are hitting in front of him, including Kyle Tucker. Jake Myers, the rookie, is in the 8th spot. Martin Maldonado, the only hitless Astro in the lineup tonight. It will be Jose Altuve to lead things off against Dylan Cease. Astros have been hearing it on the road all season long. The White Sox were the #1 team at home in the American League this year. And Dylan Cease starts off Game 3 with a strike.
And a breaking ball. Not a fastball, a breaking ball to set the tone early for these Astro hitters.
Altuve has good numbers against Cease in his limited looks at him. 4 for 8 with a home run. There's an 0-1. Waved down and missed, and it's quickly 0-2.
Starting off curveball, then coming back with the slider right there, the cutter. And you know, as a hitter, that can get you out of your approach right away.
Off the end of the bat, flared out towards short right center. Coming on is Garcia. And Leury has the out. White Sox defensively so far errorless during the first 2 games of this division series. Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert, the Gold Glover from last year, and Leury Garcia, the utility man, getting the start in right field tonight. He was a sub in Game 2 there. Moncada, Anderson, Cesar Hernandez makes his first start of the series at second, and Jose Abreu makes his second straight start at first base. Yasmani Grandal once again behind the plate.
Adam, you mentioned they're errorless. They have no errors on the board, but I think if you look at their defensive efficiency, they've made some mistakes that weren't counted as errors.
Michael Brantley stands in. That's going to have to be cleaned up. There were a couple of moments, in particular the Garcia play on the Correa hit in Game 2 that stuck out.
What a professional hitter Michael Brantley is. There's not one easy way to get him out. He's good to go in all fields, and he's good to take what the pitcher gives him, which can be really tough on pitching.
See, he's just missed, according to the home plate umpire and crew chief Tom Hallion. 2-0 on Brantley, who led all of Major League Baseball in hitting against right-handed pitching this year. He has 2 home runs and a double for the 3 hits he has against Cease in 7 at-bats. There's a 2-0. On the inside corner. Here are the home runs.
Well, heater in for the first home run for Brantley off Cease. Then another heater in. I don't think we're going to see Dylan Cease try to go inside. He got a stolen strike right there from Tom Hallion with the cutter in, but it's not the four-seamer. He can't get that by Michael Brantley inside.
2-1. Oh, he got the outside corner at 100 on that fastball.
As a pitcher, you love to see that. You love to see that strike zone come out there. And Tom likes to raise that right hand, too. So
Tom's about the lawnmower. If this pitch is close, Tom Hallion will give him the lawnmower.
No doubt.
Right here. Tom Hallion loves to ring guys up with 2 strikes.
The YouTube moment coming.
Perhaps on this 2-2 pitch. On the ground to the right side. And the second baseman Hernandez retires Brantley. 2 up and 2 down.
How do you stay ready for 100 miles an hour and hit an 83 mile an hour nasty curveball with a 90 mile an hour slider and a 78 mile an hour changeup? If this guy locates, he's gonna have a field day with anybody he pitches against, even if it is against a great lineup like this.
Right. Gonna bring up Alex Bregman. Missed just about half the season with that left quad issue. 3 hits in this series with an RBI. Astros hitters will hear this all night. Just low. 1-0 on Bregman.
So I've already gathered that Tom Hallion's giving in and out. He's not giving up and down.
Right.
There's been a couple close ones up and down that have been called balls, and the ones in and out have been called strikes.
Bregman pops it up. Abreu and Hernandez out. Garcia racing in. Abreu cannot make the play. And he goes crashing into the camera well. It's a big boy in Jose Abreu and seems to be okay. One of the hearts and souls of this team. But this is what, AJ, you were talking about, defensive efficiency, trying to take balls like this that are potentially in play and get outs on them. It's tough.
Well, that's a tough play. I mean, he went 150 feet to try to catch that ball against the railing. That's a tough play. That ball It could have been caught possibly, but I'm not saying it should have been caught.
Fans have gotten used to seeing these White Sox go all out into the netting for defensive plays. There's a 1-1 inside to Bregman. Tom Hallion, plenty of division series experience. He's behind the plate. He is the crew chief. Two balls and a strike on Bregman from Cease. Fouled back and out of play, and a chance for a 1-2-3 first inning. Two-two. To the bottom of the first we go. As the White Sox come to bat against Luis Garcia. Here is their starting lineup. It is sponsored by Good Sam. 18 hits in this series so far. All of them are singles. We'll see if the White Sox can get a little slug going tonight. Sheets back in the lineup tonight in the 7th spot and DHing. Garcia and Hernandez will round it out this evening. The top of the lineup has been very good. Anderson and Robert in particular. And it's the 24-year-old from Venezuela, Luis Garcia, who had a fantastic official rookie year, his second career postseason start.
This guy has no fear. He's a fastball, cutter, slider, changeup, and a curveball. He already faced the White Sox once this year. 7 innings, only 7 hits, 1 run. 4 of the 7 hits came on his fastball. His slider has been really good for him all year. Look for him to go against his White Sox right-hand hitting heavy lineup. He's owned right-handers the entire year. A lot of sliders, a lot of breaking balls away, which has been the success so far for these Astro pitchers.
Tim Anderson will climb in. A long windup from Garcia. And Anderson will lay off. What a start to the postseason career for Tim Anderson. The last 2 seasons, he has 13 hits in his first 5 postseason games. That is a new major league record. And these are the types of streaks that Tim Anderson can get into where he can carry an offense, or at least the top of the order. Here's a 1-0. Outside.
You notice both starting pitchers for both teams, they started the hitter off with an off-speed pitch. They're both known as notorious first pitch swingers. They like to get their best swing off as fast as possible, and Tim's no different. He loves to be aggressive. He's aggressive on offense and defense. That's kind of his name.
There's a 2-0. Big cut, and it's 2-1.
Well, it's much more important for the White Sox to score early and get on top of the Astros with this crowd, the way they're into the game, and being down 2-0. That takes a lot of pressure off you. If the Houston Astros are able to score, especially a crooked number early, just all the pressure goes into the White Sox dugout. So they need Tim Anderson to get on base. They need Luis Robert to keep doing what he's doing. They need to score early.
Breaking ball down and away.
I mean, look at this crowd. We're blacked out completely. Everybody's wearing black. The place is rocking. I mean, playoff baseball at its finest right here in Chicago. This is so fun.
You know what this is like, right? You know when it's really loud, when it's really energetic, when it's really electric. No surprise that Cease threw 100 plus a few times in that top of the first inning. Understandably so. There's a 3-1 to Anderson. And chasing after that one, and there's a full count.
Well, there you go. 3-1 leadoff hitter slider. 3-1 slider to the leadoff guy. And the last thing on earth Tim Anderson is thinking is a slider right there, Wayno. He's thinking 3-1. Here comes a heater. I'm going to clip it out front, make it 1-0.
Yeah, these big moments in the postseason, you can use it against hitters or pitchers. Everybody wants to be the hero sometimes here in the postseason, and it's hard to lay off pitches like that sometimes.
The payoff pitch to Tim Anderson. Into right, a base hit. Leadoff man is aboard for the White Sox here in the bottom of the first. That is 14 postseason hits in 2 years.
Gets a heater out over the plate. Finally gets the fastball. It's not a bad pitch by Garcia, but Tim Anderson does what he's been doing the entire postseason career, and that's take his single, get on base.
A really great job of hitting right there. He tries to pull that ball. He rolls over to shortstop right there. But what we know about Tim is that he's a really good thigh high across the zone hitter. You get that ball thigh high, no matter where it is in location, he's going to have a good swing on it.
Here's the aforementioned Luis Robert. Might be the most talented player on this roster. He'll take a strike. We talked about the edges being very pitcher friendly to start this night. That was the case on that pitch as well. To Luis Robert, who's been on base 8 of the 9 times that he's been up in this series, one of them by error. He's only been retired once by Astros pitching. Big cut.
And I like that pitch right there. That's a message. Up and in, we're not afraid of you. Garcia sending it to him. Hey, I'm going to come right after you. 2 fastballs. The only thing I don't like about when you start throwing that many breaking balls, Wayno, to the leadoff guy, it sends a message to the other team. You're a little bit afraid of them, right? Instead of, hey, here it comes. There's 2 pitches to Robert. There was no fear in those.
0-2. Check swing.
I used to think like that. I've gotten too old to think like that now, AJ. I have to put my ego behind me and just embrace the fact that I'm getting this guy out however I can get him out. And I used to be up there, you know, I'd throw a first pitch breaking ball, be like, oh man, these guys think I'm such a wuss. Like, I'm not scared of these guys, but they think I am. But now I'm like, hey, strike one. You know, it's simplifying it, making it easy, and putting all those negative thoughts out of your head is important.
Anderson takes his lead. He stole 18 bags this year in 25 tries. Maldonado very good behind the plate. Garcia will toss over. We did notice the elaborate windup for Garcia, at times a problem in trying to keep the running game in check. Obviously, he's now in the stretch, but in general, both Garcia and Cease have longer windups, but both of them have been better at keeping the running game intact and contained as the year has gone on. Both managers expressed that. Big cut again.
Well, what Garcia is doing, it not only messes up the hitter, but also the base runner. He's holding the ball. So he's not just getting it go, get it go. He's holding the ball, making everybody anxious. If you listen to the crowd's all excited. He holds the ball for so long, the crowd then sits down and gets quiet. So he's doing a great job of settling everybody down.
There's so much more to pitching than just throwing the ball.
Yep.
You have to hold that runner close. You have to vary your times to home plate. You know, hold it like AJ said. Quick pitch one. There's a whole lot more pitching than just throwing the baseball.
1-2, and Robert stays alive.
And Wayno, if there's one inning that's giving Garcia trouble, we talked about his numbers and how effective he was his whole year. The first inning for him, he had an ERA over 5. So that is the one inning that has given him a little bit of trouble. Maybe it's because of all the motion and all the thing, try to get comfortable, try to find a rhythm, but it's the one inning that has given him trouble throughout this year.
And there's lots of really good starting pitchers in the big leagues that's the same case with. You know, it's that first inning where you're trying to get settled in a little bit. You don't know exactly where all your stuff's going to be, and then you settle in as you go.
1-2 again. Hard hit towards center field. Myers over and in. Back to the bag at first goes Anderson, and there's one down. They get to balls and they make outs at about as high of a clip as anybody in baseball. Only the Dodgers and Adam Wainwright's Cardinals were better in terms of efficiency this year. Brantley, Myers, and Tucker left to right in the outfield. Bregman, Correa, Altuve, Gurriel. Altuve a Gold Glover once in his career. As we mentioned, Maldonado has been excellent in cutting down the running game, including one time in this series. Correa and Altuve up the middle. A veteran combo, over 60 playoff games played together with the Astros.
Well, this playoff run recently for the Astros, these 4 infielders have been together for every game. So over 60 games. It's pretty incredible that they've had this run all together.
Here's the reigning MVP Abreu. Anderson took a healthy lead off first. 1 ball and no strikes on Abreu.
This is where it can be really tough as a pitcher. You got a very fast runner at first base that can take second very easily. But you have to put all your focus on this great hitter that's at the plate, or he's going to do some major damage. So, you take a little bit longer. Maybe he steals second right here. You never know.
Just off the plate, 2-0 on Abreu, the 34-year-old from Cuba, a Cuban League MVP in his time, defected 8 years ago. American League Rookie of the Year in 2014, has been top 5 in MVP voting, and then last year put together another fantastic run-producing season and earned American League MVP, the first since Frank Thomas in 1994 for the White Sox. Battling flu-like symptoms the first couple of games. Back at home tonight. Anderson close to the bag this time, but trying to be kept close by Garcia.
The base stealers always told me, Wayno, 2-0, 3-0, that's the best time to steal a base. The pitcher usually locks in again on the hitter, forgets about you because they want to throw a strike, but with that guy behind the plate, Machete, better be real careful because he'll cut you down.
He's got a cannon.
Ooh. We saw it in game 1. Not only did he have a cannon, he put it right on the bag.
Cut down Luis Robert trying to steal. Tony La Russa said we can be more aggressive on the base paths. Early in the season, the White Sox, who have some speed, obviously, they had a bunch of guys that stole bases, weren't really stealing bags because they had a lot of nagging injuries. Tim Anderson in particular dealt with a hamstring issue a lot of the season. And La Russa, there's a funny quote in Chicago. He said, yeah, our guys are ouchy right now. That's why we're not running them. But he said now's the time. If we're going to be aggressive, if we can find a spot, we'll go. Still 2-0 on Abreu. Popped up. Myers and Tucker in, and it's Myers for the catch in center. The natural center fielder making the start for the second time in this series. 2 away.
Big pitch right there for Garcia. 2-0. Abreu makes a good pitch, gets an easy fly ball. That's a big pitch.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem scared to me, right? He looks calm and cool. He got the cool ponytail working. He's pitched a lot of really good games this year, but he seems real comfortable out there to me. And a lot of rookie players wouldn't be that comfortable in this situation. He seems like he's got his nerves under control. Made a good pitch at the top of the zone, popped a really good hitter up right there, and now you got 2 outs.
Now we'll face Grandal batting from the left side, facing the shift on the right of the Houston defense.
This first inning really is important. I know you talked about his numbers in the first inning this year, but also as a pitcher, you get the first one out of the way. You get that big 0. You walk back into the dugout. The crowd's going to be going crazy. You get that good feeling from your dugout. They're going to be rocking. It just kind of settles you in.
There's a 1-0. Back-to-back hitters, and 3 of the 4 have seen a 2-0 count to start this first inning. So the White Sox offense, we told you the top of the order has been great. Anderson, Robert, and Abreu have been rock solid, as per usual. The rest of the team, the rest of this lineup, including Grandal, who is hitless, trying to get going. Grandal ropes it down the right field line towards the corner, and it is foul. Oh, this crowd was ready to unload. Instead, a long, loud strike.
Off the bat, because of Grandal's reaction, you thought it was going to be way fair at about 700 feet, but unfortunately it was way foul and about 300 feet.
Well, it's not surprising to see him in a 2-0 count right there either. We played them earlier this year. I don't know if he swung the bat the entire series. If it's not right down the middle, he's not swinging.
3 balls and a strike on Grandal. He had a fascinating slash line this year. Not a high average, incredibly high on base, slugged very well, high OPS because he really picks his spots well to swing.
Like Waino said, he doesn't swing unless it's right down the middle. He takes more good pitches, I feel like, to hit when you watch him. But then if he gets the one he's looking for, he pulls the trigger. It's quick. He can do some damage.
He has tremendous power to all fields. I've seen him backspin balls down and away real easy.
And as Grandal often does, he walks to a board with 2 out here in the first for the White Sox.
3-1 off speed, though. Again, that's not the worst thing in the world to walk him after that swing he had 2-0. Eloy Jimenez is on deck. He's coming up right here, Waino. I know you never give in, but Garcia right there, just don't give in after that ball he smoked, right? Because Jimenez has been struggling. He's been struggling in September. He's been struggling in the playoffs. So not the worst thing in the world.
Such a fine line with pitching in these situations, because with the runner on first, the only way they're going to score a run is with an extra base hit or maybe a home run. So, you know, if you execute your pitch, you can keep him in the yard and, you know, not many bad things happen. But when you start getting these multiple runners on, that's when the big crooked numbers happen. That's what beats you in the playoffs. So single runs rarely beat you, but especially in the playoffs against good pitchers, it's the crooked numbers that end up costing you, and sometimes you can walk your way into a big situation.
Lance McCullers Jr. did not walk him in his start. Framber Valdez only 1 in his outing for the Astros as a starter. Here's Eloy Jimenez. Waves at that off-speed delivery, tailing away. Waino, you pointed out Eloy Jimenez specifically because you feel like he can sneak up on you in this lineup.
He can, and he is a sneaky, huge person. If you get up next to this guy, I don't know how tall he is. He's got to be 6'5", 6'6", and he's got some weight behind him too. But he's got huge pop. He'll go right center with the best that I've ever seen, especially on balls middle in. He loves taking them to right center. It's really impressive.
0-1. Towards center field and down for a base hit. Anderson rounding third. The throw from Myers. White Sox take the lead in Game 3. Right on cue, it's Eloy Jimenez to put the White Sox in front out of the gate.
Well, he swung and missed at the slider first pitch. Garcia came back with a cutter. A little bit harder, a little bit more up. And Jimenez lines it to center field, and Tim Anderson's speed, he's going to score easily on that ball.
Here's Yohan Moncada. Just 2 for 20 in his playoff career the last couple of years. He's got 2 aboard. And a first pitch swing to foul it away. Back to the Jimenez RBI.
Just a hanging slider, cutter, whatever you want to call it. He threw a really good one the first time. That one's a little bit higher. What a flat, perfectly on plane swing by Jimenez. Line drive up the middle. Myers, put in your pocket, kid. Tim Anderson's going to score easily. 1-0 White Sox.
Nothing at 2.
So what we just saw there, I've been really noticing this a lot lately. You throw a pitch 2 times to a batter in the same at bat. Could be doubled up, could be just 2 times in 1 at bat. One, let's say he throws a slider just like that, but he throws it really nice on the corner down. But then you throw another one and it catches a little bit more plate than the other one. After seeing the nasty one you got, if you bring it up a little bit more, that's going to get whacked most of the time. Throw a nasty breaking ball in the dirt, and then you throw one for a strike. Usually it gets hit. It's just something I've been noticing lately.
Towards the gap in right center field. Myers hustling to the gap to make the catch and end the inning. Covering a lot of ground in that bottom of the first. But Eloy Jimenez strikes for the Sox in the bottom of the first inning. A couple of base knocks for Chicago and a 1-0 lead through 1 in a must-win Game 3. Dylan Cease worked a 1-2-3 top of the first inning, including a handful of triple-digit fastballs, including a strikeout of Bregman to end the frame. He'll face Alvarez, Correa, and Tucker. Very difficult middle of this Houston order. Alvarez has been as good as it comes. First pitch is down and away to start this frame to Yordan Alvarez. 0 for 5 though with 4 strikeouts in his short look at Dylan Cease, with 3 for 5 with a homer and a double in this series, both of those in game 1. Wayno, talk to me a little bit about adrenaline for Dylan Cease, and that helped pump up that fastball in the first a little.
Man, the first inning we saw 101 miles an hour on the pop up to right. We saw a couple of other hundreds. You know, and this is a dangerous thing for a starting pitcher in the playoffs, especially in these big games. You feel the crowd, you really start feeling that energy, and it pushes you to the next level.
A 1-1 down low.
And what can happen is if you don't control your breathing and you don't control your heart rate, you empty that adrenaline tank too early, and then the second and third and fourth innings you out there with your legs shaking. I know that as it's happened to me. You really have to take time to step off and really control your breathing, control your heart rate, slow things down just a little bit so you don't get out there racing ahead of time.
Here's a 2-1. Big cut from Alvarez. For more, we can go down to Tom Berducci.
Well, that's right. You talk about adrenaline, Adam, and he's channeling it in the right direction, because we know that can be a blessing or a curse. Put it this way, guys. This year, Dylan threw 2,957 pitches, none at 100 miles an hour. Twice against Alex Bregman, over 100 miles per hour.
Wow. Great context from Tom there. A 2-2 pitch to Yordan Alvarez. Tried to clip that top of the zone, and as we said, it feels more left and right, not as much up and down for Tom Hellion strike zone to start.
I need that one.
That's too high. High slider? You want a high slider, neck high?
I want them all, AJ. I want them all.
He's going to rear back and throw 101 right here.
Let's see.
You don't have that in the tank anymore, Wayno.
I never did. I'm lucky for 91.
Here's a payoff. Changed it up a little bit on him on the inside part of the plate. And Alvarez will take a leadoff walk, the first Astro base runner tonight.
That's a big walk. You just go out and you score, you get a lead, you come out and you walk the leadoff guy. That is the last thing Tony La Russa wanted to see. He'd rather have Alvarez hit a home run right there, I feel like, right, Wayno, than him walking him.
He certainly does not want him to walk that leadoff hitter. I mean, that is just how you give the adrenaline or the momentum right back to the other side, and that could be a dangerous thing. These teams are great. They're here for a reason. These hitters, they react to these big situations with runners on base.
Here's Correa taking a strike. Correa 1 for 8 with 3 strikeouts in his career against Dylan Cease. Cease has cut down on walks significantly. In the shortened season last year, he led the American League. He was averaging almost 5 walks per 9 innings his first 2 years in the big leagues. That's down under 4 this year. Major improvement. And he'll challenge right-handed hitters inside. He does there. It's 1-1 on Correa.
You talked about defensive efficiency for the Astros and the White Sox. Sitting up here in our booth, we can see the whole field. The White Sox don't shift hardly at all.
Yep.
Compared to every other team you watch, after watching team after team, they're pretty much a base defense. There's no shifting, moving. They do it occasionally, but not like the other teams do.
This is more classic double play depth for this White Sox infield. They shifted at the 4th lowest rate in Major League Baseball this year. It may have actually come back to hurt them a little bit in game 2, whereas it kind of helped Houston, and in particular that play that Altuve made up the middle.
Well, there was how many base hits from the Houston Astros right up the middle on ground balls? But usually there's a guy standing there. But against the White Sox in game 2, they were all base hits, all singles.
Just missed at 99, and Cease wanted that one because he felt like he had one of those earlier.
But now leadoff walk, and now 3-1 count on Correa. Wayno wants that one too. That's about 6 inches outside, though.
AJ, I want them all. You might not get them, but that doesn't mean I don't want them.
Be careful right here. I don't care how hard you throw. Carlos Correa in the playoffs, different animal.
Tried that same spot, just missed off the corner. It is back-to-back walks for Dylan Cease to start this second inning. So it's going to be an early trip from Ethan Katz, the first-year pitching coach for the White Sox, as we get a look at StatCast powered by Google Cloud. You see the walk rate lower than it was his first 2 years in the big leagues. One of the best strikeout pitchers, and the whiff percentage. And Wayno, all that means is this guy misses bats. And in an era where power is as high as it ever has been, you need to miss bats, and he can do that at his best.
You need to miss bats, or you need to get soft contact. But I tell you, this Astros team, if you're throwing those thigh high balls and hip high balls that he's throwing so far, even though he's on the corners, that's a very dangerous height for this team. You got to be above that or below it. You can't be in that middle range. That's where the ball leaves the park. And this Astros lineup has guys from top to bottom that punish that thigh high ball. So look for him to get back to the knees. He needs to be back at the knees. He needs to be back like at the letters. Somewhere in between is not going to be the play.
Alvarez at second, Correa at first. Correa and Abreu share a quick moment together. A couple of excellent players there. Here's Kyle Tucker. He's the hottest hitter in the American League for September and October, ending the regular season, and he has had some big moments in this series, in particular in Game 2. You called it, Wayno, trying to get back to the middle and towards the knees, a little bit low that time.
You got to simplify in these big moments. You got to simplify things. What do I do best? What does he do best as a pitcher? What can he command the best? What can he get in those spots where he get this big ground ball? That's what he needs right here, is to get the ground ball or something soft contact.
There's a 1-0. This is down and inside. Things getting a little bit tricky now for Dylan Cease. This has been a major difference in this series in Houston, at least. The runners in scoring position comparison, the White Sox were 3 for 19 in the first 2 games. They're 2 for 2 tonight. They've got the 1-0 lead, but a runner at second and first. Cease almost meditative as he gets set for this 2-0 delivery. Tucker hits it towards the gap in right center. Long run for Robert and Garcia, and that's going to get down into the wall. It's going to score 2 potentially. Here comes Correa. He'll slide in for a 2-1 Houston lead, and Kyle Tucker, the last 2 games, has been delivering for Houston.
One thing is true now, was true 150 years ago. You cannot walk people in the postseason. You cannot do it, especially these great teams. You put those free passes out there, you're opening yourself up for something really bad to happen.
Well, not only the free passes, then you fall behind a really good fastball hitter, 2-0, and you throw one right down the middle, and Kyle Tucker laces it into the gap, Wayno. All that momentum, the crowd, everything. Remember, we talked about, hey, we need the Astros, the White Sox need to jump on the Astros. They got an early score, and then Cease walks 2 guys, and now they're behind 2-1.
And now here is the batting champion in the American League, Yuli Gurriel, moved down to the 7 hole tonight. Ahead of the count, 1-0. Hit .319 to lead the American League, but just 1 for 8 in the series. He struck out 3 times in Game 1. Dusty Baker said he's going to put a couple of hotter hitters in front of him, in particular Tucker, and take a little pressure off Gurriel to balance out the bottom of the order. 2-0.
Not only does Carlos Correa hit well in the postseason, that's a perfect read by him on that ball in the gap. And this turn, impeccable. Perfectly on the inside corner of the bases. Scores easy. Alvarez is telling him, stand up, but Correa just wanted to get his uniform dirty.
Tucker's driven in 5 in this series. A 2-0. Off the end of the bat to right. Garcia tracking it all the way out, and he makes the grab. Tucker will tag from second and take third base. 1 away here in the top of the second inning.
Productive at bat.
Good fundamental baseball right there. Get him on, get him over, and Let's see if they get him in.
This has been the difference in the series, right? The Astros, even with their outs, they're productive outs. Gurriel had a 2-0 count. He could have got selfish. He could have tried to pull the ball. Instead, he sticks with his plan, gets a fastball, hits a deep fly ball to right field, and we already have Kopech up in the bullpen for the White Sox. They aren't messing around. They got nothing to do but try to win today because there is no tomorrow.
It's an all hands on deck type of situation. Once you face elimination, Tony La Russa in that spot tonight. The infield brought in here with Jake Myers, the rookie, who had an RBI in his first career postseason at bat in Game 1. Scored a run as well. And boy, the strike zone just not there right now for Dylan Cease.
He's behind every single guy.
He is, and he's in that weird spot where you're just missing with a lot of pitches, and so then you're like, all right, I'm just going to bring it back towards the middle a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's right down the middle, and that's what Kyle Tucker hit so hard. But gosh, it's such a fine line in throwing a great pitch and ball one, you know, and that's what he's just barely missing those corners right now.
He's been behind 7 of the first 8 hitters. Comes back with a much needed strike, and it's 1-1.
It's on the corner. It's a nice off-speed pitch, but it's still a little up, isn't it? I mean, that's
if I'm Myers right there, that's the one I want to hit a fly ball with.
That's a sac fly pitch all day long.
And that's a hanging slider. You just kind of stick your barrel out and it goes to right field, and you're up 3-1.
On the ground, past the diving Moncada. It's 3-1 Houston. Jake Myers coming up big in his first postseason.
Another slider up. It's another breaking ball slider, another hanger, Waino.
Yep.
The infield in, Moncada has no chance. That ball is hit past him before he can basically even react to it.
Have we seen any changeups out of him yet?
No.
Not one. I love that changeup he throws too. I know it's his least amount of usage, but I think it's just a really cool pitch.
Is that a pitch that you bust out at any point? Do you find a time to throw it out there?
Cool and effective are completely different things. I mean, it's super cool. Like Bobby Jenks, the big closer for the White, he used to have a knuckleball, and he thought it was cool to throw it like in spring training, and I'm like, yeah, but it's not effective and it's not cool for me to catch, so stop. Right? But like, I mean, it's cool, but he doesn't throw it to right-handed hitters, and this lineup is right-hand heavy.
I know he should though. he should. He was on my scouting tape a lot this year, and he's one of those pitchers that I kind of fast forward through because I go, well, I don't throw 100 and I don't throw,
sure.
My fastball's where his slider is. So, but this guy has incredible talent. Incredible talent. I want to see him get back. Now, people listening at home, I always root for the pitchers. Just know that, okay? I'm not cheering for the White Sox here, but I do want to see him get back on top of the baseball right here, drive this sucker downhill, get somebody to hit a ground ball for him right here.
1 to Maldonado. The changeup is a pitch that Cease really didn't throw much in high school. He said it became sort of an average high school fastball. He was a little bit worried to use it in the minors, trying to manipulate bats, but he has had moments this year where he feels really good about it. The Tigers can tell you that. He used it a lot against Detroit.
We had a pitcher named Anthony Reyes when I was coming up, and he had a 20 mile an hour off his fastball changeup, and it was unhittable.
Runner goes, pitches upstairs. Grandal's thrown to second, not in time. Myers lifted 3 bags during the regular season. He has one in the playoffs here, and a man in scoring position with only 1 out for Maldonado now.
We discussed this earlier. Myers picks a great pitch to run on 0-2. He's thinking, okay, here comes a breaking ball from Cease. He gets one. He just outruns the ball. Not a bad throw by Grandal, but we've discussed in Game 1 especially, you can run on the White Sox. You can run on Grandal. You can run on Collins if he's back there. They gave up the most stolen bases in Major League Baseball this year, so you can run. That's a big base because that keeps them out of the double play, and that almost guarantees you that Jose Altuve will get a chance with runner in scoring position.
Now 2-2 on Maldonado.
And now I got to start asking you, Waino, how far does La Russa go with Cease until Kopech. Is this his last hitter? Does he try to get him through this inning? Like, at what point are you like, enough is enough? I gotta go get the weapon I have down there in the bullpen.
Looks like he's getting hot down there to me. I'm sure Tony's patience is wearing thin because he's got to play this like it's their last right now.
And Kopech, Tony La Russa wants to put him in a clean inning if possible, but he may not have that choice. This at bat is big. Cease to Maldonado, a 2-2. Fouled away.
You see him use his stuff up in the zone, and there's nothing wrong with that because he has the swing and miss fastball. He probably has great carry on his ball and probably gets a lot of swing and misses underneath the ball. And that's great, but we need to see him throw his fastball up there. We need to see him use his off speed down, off of that. So, but I still think there's a time and place for both. You work up, you work down, you work the off speed underneath it off of that.
In these spots, he liked his slider. He got a lot of misses on that this year. 2-2. Missed down and away with a fastball.
Well, he's not comfortable. The misses started off small. Now they're getting bigger, right? They're getting larger misses. At the beginning of this inning, first inning, listen, he got some pitches in the first inning. I mean, Tom Howley behind the plate, he gave him a couple here and there. But this inning, those misses have gone from a few inches to 6-8 inches, yanking ball. That might be what you talked about, the adrenaline wearing off.
27th pitch of the inning coming. A 3-2. Got him.
There's a lawnmower.
That was Tom Hallion special behind the plate. Demonstrative strikeout call. It's a big one for Cease, and there's 2 away.
This ball, we just talked about Tom Hallion giving him some off the plate. That ball's off the plate a couple inches. I know Wayno says, I want that pitch.
That's paint, AJ.
That's a ball.
It's painted. Painted fastball.
Well, Maldonado's going to want that too, right?
Absolutely.
You got the opposing catcher. I love having a pitcher and a catcher up here.
Yep.
Can't wait for these spirited debates. Back to the top of the order, and here is Altuve.
AJ wanted him too.
Only when I was catching.
That's right. I was going to say when you were hitting.
Hopefully.
Altuve flew out to right his first time up. This is with that off-speed pitch.
That's
down the way.
There. That looks better. That's a better miss there. He was on top of that ball, had better break, better sharper break, and you saw where the location was. That's a pitch a lot of people are going to swing at right there, looking for 99.
But he's thrown so many off-speed pitches now. A lot of these Astros, these guys are veteran guys. They've been around. They've seen all this, right? They know, hey, Altuve first at bat, first pitch breaking ball. You saw a lot of breaking balls. These guys know. They learn. They talk.
Altuve had good numbers, as you mentioned earlier, against Cease. He's ahead of the count here, 2-0.
Looks a little late to me, honestly. I think that the ball needs to come out of here earlier. It needs to get that thing in the right spot so we can get on top out front of the ball. But you lose your legs a little bit. That adrenaline catches or sneaks up on you a little bit. You lose your legs, you start really trying to heave the ball a little bit. Looks like he's just a little late with his handbrake to me.
Kind of yanked that fastball a little outside. 3-0. Tony La Russa on the phone. Wonder if maybe this is the last batter.
Green light.
3-0.
Altuve.
I mean, it's the face of your franchise, right?
I'm saying no.
You got a young pitcher on the ropes. I think
no.
I think I'm with you. I think
because Dusty wants Kopech in this game as soon as possible. Because the more pitches Kopech has to throw in this game, the less of a chance if the White Sox win, they'll see him in 4 or 5.
There he comes.
That was the criticism of not using Michael Kopech in Game 2 because you had the off day on Saturday. Now if you pitch Kopech deep and you win this game, you may not use him for Game 4. But again, all of that is dependent on getting out of Game 3. The Astros have scored 3 times and Cease is done here in Game 3. Money during tonight's game. It's free to play. Just enter now before the contest closes for your chance at $5,000. Scan the QR code now, download the app, and play for free. Shortest outing of Cease's career, 1 2/3. He's responsible for both men on base, and Michael Brantley coming to the plate. Michael Kopech is on for the first time in this series. Part of the Chris Sale trade that brought he and Yohan Moncada to the White Sox. Attacks Brantley with a first pitch and misses inside. Left-handers miss a lot against Kopech. He's got a good arsenal. And you've heard the guys talk about it in studio. You've heard people here in Chicago talk about it. He is a weapon for the Sox, and they're using him here in a desperate time in Game 3.
Well, you never know. You never know when the biggest spot of a game is going to be. And right now, 3-1 with 2 outs, it might be right now. They get out of this inning right now, it might win them the game. So that's Tony's got to manage it like that.
Well, Tony didn't want to bring him in with guys on base or in the middle of an inning, so I'm surprised he didn't use maybe a Lopez or Ruiz to kind of get one more out, clear the decks, and then have Kopech start the next inning.
Might tell you a little bit about how important this is right now. There's a strike from Kopech.
Or it might tell you Tony heard a little bit of criticism.
And I know what Cease is thinking over there too. He's feeling like he let this entire city down, this entire organization down. He's feeling pretty low right now. He's going to learn a lot from this experience. Sometimes it's the bad ones that carry you better and farther into your career than the good ones.
2-1 on Brantley. There's that fastball, but it just missed.
Another guy throwing 100 miles an hour. You know,
everybody and their grandma throws 100 miles an hour now.
So are you a grandfather then?
I think I'm a grandpa.
So what I want to know is, do the White Sox envision Kopech as a future starter? Or are they going to keep him? He's been such a weapon for them in the bullpen. Is he a starter down the road? Is he a closer?
Brantley lifts it in the air to left. Jimenez is there. And Kopech comes on and gets out of the inning, but 3 runs across against Dylan Cease. The 2-run double from Tucker, the big blow, and a 3-1 Astros lead to the bottom of the second.
And welcome back to ALDS Game 3. Kind enough to be joined here by White Sox pitching coach Ethan Katz. Ethan, it looked like Dylan in that first inning channeled his adrenaline. Second inning, 2 walks brought you out to the mound. What was the difference that you saw?
Yeah, I mean, he's just getting guy counts. We really want to control the leadoff guy, especially with, you know, their team and the strike zone discipline they have. You know, it's unfortunate we walked the first couple guys, and now we're in this position.
You have Kopech now in the game. What can we expect from him in terms of length?
He's good to go. We got him built out. That's why we stretched him out at the end of the season. You know, he can go 5 innings if need be. We'll just pay attention, see how the game goes, and see where he's at.
Ethan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Back to you, Adam.
Tom, thank you. Garcia facing Gavin Sheets to begin this bottom half of the second inning. An 0-2 to Sheets, and down he goes swinging. 95 on the fastball to Sheets, and there's 1 down. First strikeout of the night for Luis Garcia.
Ethan Katz just said he could go 5 innings?
He's done it 1 time this year. He's gone 4 innings 1 time this year, but that was really early in the year.
5 innings?
5 innings,
Why didn't he start? Why didn't you start him then?
That's going to be an interesting question that I imagine some folks are going to talk about this week.
I mean, if he can go 5 innings, why not in Game 2, after Giolito comes out, let him run the rest of the game in a tie game? Well, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I mean, Cease has had a good year, though. You know, he deserves a start, but it's hard to disagree with what you said there. If he can go 5, man, with that stuff, I don't know.
Well, if he can go 5, he could pitch Game 3, and you have Rodon was great for him all year. He's questionable with his health, so if they win this game, they have to pitch him. But why not go Kopech or Cease Game 3, Kopech Game 4, or vice versa, and have Rodon maybe as a long guy, swing guy?
Garcia on Leury Garcia. There's the big sweeping breaking ball, and it's low.
Great report, Tom. Thanks for the insight, by the way.
Yeah, Ethan Katz was kind enough to let us know. First-year pitching coach for the White Sox, taking over for the long-standing Don Cooper. Garcia's 1 for 7 in the series. Luis deals to Leury. And just missed. Luis Garcia, 24 years of age, from Venezuela, debuted last September. He's got a really good cutter that he uses often against righties. It's a lot of swings and misses and strikeouts off that. The slider, changeup, and curveball to mix in as well. Signed as an international free agent in 2017. 5 appearances, 1 start in 2020's shortened season. He fouls it away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's throwing 94 miles an hour, and it looks almost slow compared to those guys for the White Sox who are throwing 100 miles an hour. It's crazy to me. But he's locating it. He's going up and down. He's mixing in that cutter, like you said. He's mixing it up, man. He's pitching out there.
The rock, the step back, and a 2-2. And Leury Garcia went around, according to Lance Barrett. Back-to-back strikeouts to start this second inning for Luis Garcia.
Well, it might look like that to you, Wayno, but the way the White Sox last 2 hitters have reacted, it looks like it's 120. This would wear me out if I was pitching. You should try this next year when you come back to pitch.
I'd love to see 6'6" Adam Wainwright do this next year.
He does. He's got a little rhythm out there, huh? He's dancing.
That would wear you out, wouldn't it? Tire you out?
I've got to save every bullet that I've ever thought about. So,
are we comparing apples and oranges essentially here, AJ? Here's Hernandez, another switch hitter batting lefty, and he'll foul one back.
I like the movement though. You know, he's not too, just still out there. He's not stiff. He looks like he's, flowing. He's like he's composing something out there, right? He's dancing. He's creating some kind of art piece right now, and it's really cool to watch.
I think he just rocked the baby right there.
A little bit.
he rocked the baby before he went to his motion.
There's a 1-1. There's that fastball at 95. At the end of the year, Garcia's average fastball velocity had gone back up. He threw his hardest in the month of July, right around 94. That velocity went down in the month of August, under 93. There was a little bit of concern, but he's pitched a little less deep into games in the second half, and that saved some of his velocity, as he threw well over 93 average in the month of September. He's throwing 95, 96 tonight.
You know what's cool about baseball too? He wins this game, or has a great career. There's going to be kids in Venezuela everywhere practicing that same little rockin' motion he's doing right now.
Walks into a 2-2 and misses. The count runs full on the 9-hitter for the White Sox.
I can remember mimicking John Smoltz's when he would take his hands over his head and get into his delivery, because my AA coach said you need a little rhythm out there. You're too stiff. And it causes you to yank balls. A little movement with the hands, a little movement with the body sometimes can get you real comfortable into your delivery.
There's the payoff. And Hernandez is aboard with a 2-out walk to turn it over to Anderson. And Tim Anderson is the spotlight of our player resume. It is sponsored by Indeed. 3 straight years he has hit over 300. He's had the best batting average in the major leagues over this last 3-year stretch. We already talked about it, and we know we said it a couple of times, but this guy's the rock of this lineup. Excellent basketball player at Hillcrest High School in Tuscaloosa. Not a guy that even really wanted to play professional baseball. It was just something he was doing because he was athletic and needed to play his sport. But his junior year, he finally started playing baseball after multiple injuries in basketball. Received 1 scholarship offer to junior college. He's the tying run early in this game in the second with 2 out. On the ground is short. Correa with the backhand. Going to retire his counterpart, and will. Garcia leaves a man stranded. We played 2 in game 3. A 2-run Houston lead.
Where the Houston Astros are holding a 3-1 lead, and we're kind enough to be joined by Houston manager Dusty Baker right after Michael Kopech delivers this first pitch. Dusty, you well know there's an old saying in this game: when you're walking, you're hitting. Your team has 12 walks and 18 trips to the plate in this series. What do you see from your hitters up and down the lineup?
Well, these guys are, having quality at bats, and they're swinging at strikes. And if you swing at strikes, most of the time you're going to hit. And I tell you, these guys got electric arms over there, but they still got to come across the plate.
One of your hitters who did exactly that, Kyle Tucker, got the count to 2-0, took advantage of a fastball. You moved him up in the lineup today. Why did you move him up, and what do you see in this series for Kyle?
Well, I tell you, Kyle's been swinging the bat great, and Carlos been swinging the bat great as he usually does during the playoffs. And so I moved him up, back to back. I moved, Yuli down. He's not swinging quite as good as they are, or nearly as hot.
Dusty, thanks so much for joining us.
Off the glove of Kopech, and Moncada nor Anderson has a play on it. Tom, we thank you and Dusty for your time. Bregman is aboard to start off this top half of the third inning for Houston.
Best part of that interview, besides the information Dusty gave us in Tom's questions, was when that ball was hit, you could hear Dusty rooting for his guy. That's a knock. You hear him in the background. Yeah, that's a knock. Get off his glove.
And it is a base hit on the infield off the glove of Kopech.
You know what I appreciated about what he said too is in today's game, it's important to understand all the back numbers and the things that reasons why, spin rates and all that kind of stuff. It's important. It really is important to understand that. But it's also important to understand the simple things too. They're swinging at good pitches. They're taking good at bats. They're hitting balls in the middle of the plate, and they're taking the balls that aren't. I mean, that's baseball at its finest, and that's a good way to succeed at this game.
Alvarez walked back in the second inning and scored one of 3 runs. Alvarez, another Cuba native, 24 years of age. And consistent all year. Really, the month of July was the only rough month he had. Every time you look at his numbers and splits, they were consistent. He fouls one away, and it's quickly 0-2 from Kopech to Alvarez. Shift is on the right side against the left-handed hitting Alvarez. Kopech gets the strikeout. 97 to freeze Alvarez. One away.
That is a nasty pitch in a nasty location. He couldn't have done anything with it, even if he just swung.
Look at the movement on that ball. And Tom Hallion, he can't wait. Lawnmower. Comes back, hits the corner perfectly.
That's a perfect pitch.
Well, if I was catching and I saw Tom Hallion, I'd come up and I'd say, listen, Tom, I know you love to ring guys up. Just please wait until the pitch hits the glove, because there was a couple times he was already striking 3 before the pitch would even get halfway to home plate.
That's great. You got a good one? You got a good Hallion?
I mean, like you can't wait. I mean, it's like pitch is like halfway there. You can hear him yelling. You're like, come on, Tom, give me a chance.
I have to be much more careful because Tom's still going to umpire some of my games.
That's right.
Tom, I think you're doing a great job, bud. And all you umpires listening at home, I love
anything
you
else
all.
you want
You're
to say to the
amazing.
home plate umpires around baseball right now while you have the microphone?
It's a thankless job, umpires at home. We love you. You're doing great.
Oh,
I just want you to know we support you and you're special.
Listen, he's actually a really good umpire. I don't want you to think that, but there's certain umpires when you go into the game. Listen, he's going to ring you up at some point. You just don't want him to do that because all your friends are watching on TV and they see Tom Hallion lawnmower and you're just like, here we go again.
But you know what? Why not? Why not have something cool like that? When I was a kid, we had an umpire named Terry, and if he locked you up on one and you didn't swing, he'd go, I got a corner, and make a production out of it, and that's fun, man.
I think the fans want to see Tom Hallion ring it up again. Kopech to Correa, a 1-2 pitch coming. Foul back and out of play. It is the 10th division series for Tom Hallion as a playoff umpire. He's worked 5 league championship series and a World Series as well. Kopech at 15 pitches thus far. Those 2 starts we talked about where he went 5 innings and 4 innings, 87 and 65 pitches. His season high in relief came last Sunday in the regular season finale against Detroit. He threw 51 pitches in relief. On the ground to the left side, Anderson hustles the throw to second and gets the lead runner in Bregman. It'll be a fielder's choice for the second out. Correa's at first safely.
Such a good play right there. To get the lead runner on and not an easy angle for him to throw that ball to second right there. Keeps the runner at first base out of scoring position where this team has done such a good job. It's just a great play. And the good speed, you're probably not going to get him at first, honestly.
Well, plus Bregman's been banged up with his legs, right? Tim Anderson knows that, so he knows it's an easier out. That ball's deep in the hole. Correa's probably going to beat it out if he goes across the diamond. So it's a really well played defensive play by Tim Anderson.
That is something that Anderson has worked on a lot. It has been a career season in terms of metrics for Tim Anderson defensively. He had a lot of errors early in his career. He's really cleaned that up. Here's Kyle Tucker, who had a 2-run double in that 3-run second. Tucker lifts one the other way, pretty well struck. Jimenez ranging back at the track. It's gone! Kyle Tucker having a postseason. It's 5-1 Houston. His second home run in as many games.
That ball just kept going. Goodness. Did you think he got that?
Yes.
You did?
That's the exact same flight path as the home run he hit off Kimbrel the other day.
Man, yeah, but that was in the Crawford boxes, wasn't it?
It went about the same distance.
Man, that ball just did not come down. I thought it was a fly ball, and it just kept going and going and going. It's a good swing.
Uneasiness has quickly settled in here at Guaranteed Rate Field. Yuli Gurriel swings and misses. Opposite field shot once again for Tucker.
Four-seamer. That's not a bad pitch, right? You'd be pretty happy with that pitch, Waino. Down and away, but you don't want to get Kyle Tucker to get his arms extended. He did it the other day against Kimbrel. And that ball silenced the crowd.
Good off-speed pitch from Kopech, 0-2.
It wasn't terrible. I mean, it's out there. You know, I mean, it might be a touch above the knees, but it's out there.
Well, how good does Dusty Baker look right now? Switching Tucker and Gurriel. 4 RBIs for Tucker. Only in the 3rd inning.
Gurriel went around, and that'll do it for the Astros in the 3rd. But Kyle Tucker, a 24-year-old from Tampa, the number 5 pick in 2015, the same year Alex Bregman was drafted, going up against a high-level pick in Michael Kopech, a high-leverage spot, and Tucker delivers a 5-1 Astros lead through 2.5 here in Game 3. season. 4 RBIs tonight and a 5-1 Astros lead to the bottom of the third. Luis Robert, Jose Abreu, Yasmani Grandal. Good part of this White Sox order. Robert flew out to center field back in the first. He's had an excellent start to this series. Trying to get on base against Luis Garcia, who sees one get fouled back and has had 0-2.
Well, the White Sox have to score. They have to score now. They can't take a chance of it's 5-1 now, Waino. If they fall any farther behind, this could get ugly really quick because the Astros will just keep piling on. They're not going to stop scoring. So the Astros, this is the inning. 2, 3, 4. The White Sox have to figure out a way to at least get one and get them some momentum back on their side.
He started off with 3 fastballs in a row here. One, though, painted at the knees, down and away. The next one, belt high away on the corner. And the next one, let's just see if you'll go a little higher on the chase there. It was good pitching.
Maldonado setting up, and it's fouled away once again.
4 straight heaters away now.
Yep.
Let's see if he comes back off speed here.
I think he's seen the tape on Robert, too. Robert had a postseason home run against Oakland last year that went 487 feet off of Mike Fiers in Game 3. Lays off of that one. That was off speed, down and away.
Well, how about this so far? Through 2 and 3 innings here, two games and another 2 innings. White Sox have 20 hits in this series, all singles. Houston has 8 extra base hits, 5 doubles, 3 homers, 2 homers by their right fielder Kyle Tucker, and just barely 2 1/3 game.
Robert tried to lay off the breaking ball and does. Count runs full on Luis Robert. This is the offensive comparison. Astros scoring 14 more runs White Sox all singles.
Yeah, but that walk number,
also big.
That's the number.
Well, a lot of those walks have come around to score. That's hurt White Sox pitching.
Tonight.
Exactly. Payoff pitch from Garcia. And Robert will, I believe, take first base. He's still waiting to figure out the count.
Yeah, that's ball 4.
he's like, yeah,
he wanted to hit.
We're good.
He wanted to hit.
That's right. Robert's like, are you sure? Can I get one more swing? While we have a moment, let's go to Kevin Burkhardt in Los Angeles with a game break. What's happened in the other series, KB? Wow, that was a controversial play in that 13th inning, and then the Red Sox finish it off.
I got to start. Well, you know, next year you tell your outfielders if a ball hits the wall, just knock it over the fence if a runner's going to score. I thought the umpires had the discretion to let a guy score if they think he was going to score on something like that, but I guess not. That was crazy.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. A ball come back into play off a fielder and go back over the fence.
Yep. Now you know. You guys got to work on that in spring training. Have your Willie McGee.
You hear that, Willie McGee?
Yeah,
you hear that, Willie?
Have them hit balls off the fence. Have your outfielders practice knocking them over the fence.
We should also practice on not giving balls up off the fence.
Abreu, big cut on that breaking ball, and it's 0-2. Game 4 of that series. With the Red Sox one step away from the American League Championship Series. They'll look for the series win on FS1 tomorrow.
This is a big at bat right here.
Huge.
You got the middle of the lineup up. Runners on first. Your guy's up. Your main man's up to bat. I know he's got a tough count against him right now, but let's see what he can do.
Breaking ball down and away. Keeping an eye on Robert, who, remember, in game 1 was cut down by Maldonado trying to steal second base. 4-run deficit right now, though. Not sure how aggressive the White Sox will be, especially with Abreu at the plate. Now they may try to stay out of the double play here with Robert at least moving a little bit.
No chance.
You know, you just want to let, you're willing to give up a double play because you know Abreu might get something to hit that he can handle and knock out.
Yes.
Okay.
The whole right side of the field is already open. I think Jose Abreu right here is trying to put one to right.
Oh, went weaving at that one down low. Another good breaking ball from Garcia.
He wasn't playing on that nasty curveball from Garcia.
When you get down in moments like this too, I think it's important to not try to do it all with one swing. You know, like just get back any way you can. Just chip away. Get one here. Get one there. You know, all of a sudden you get 2 here. It's 5-3. Now you're back in the game. Even if you score 1 right here, it's 5-2. You're feeling a lot better about it. You've kind of flipped the momentum a little bit. You just got to, like AJ said a minute ago, you got to get something going positively for your own side.
Shift is on for Grandal with 1 on and 1 out. There's that breaking ball again. Wow.
Good news is it's the 3rd inning.
Yep.
It's the 3rd inning. There's a lot of baseball left. And these teams are here because they found ways to win a lot of different games a lot of different ways. So we'll see what happens.
So the problem is Garcia looks like he's starting to find the breaking ball. And that's bad news for the White Sox.
Comes back with a nice changeup. That's a great combo right there. Curveball and then changeup right after. A hitter sees straight. They think it's going to be a fastball, and all of a sudden changeup. You swing and miss. You're going, what did he just throw right there?
And see, that's funny because when I first came up, which was a long time ago, I was told never to do curveball changeup because you'd already slowed the guy down. But now I agree with you.
0-2.
I thought the same thing, and it was something I had not used until this year. And I thought, especially since changeup was my 4th pitch. There's the nice curveball. And then look at that same arm action right there with perfect location down and away. That's impossible to hit, man.
So I wasn't a big believer until there's a guy who's still pitching named Joaquin Soria. When he was with Kansas City, he would always throw curveball, changeup. And until we figured out his pattern, and then he came over and played with me in Texas, and we talked about it, and he's like, oh, that's a great combination. Now you see more and more guys doing that combination.
I think
Martin Maldonado's like,
I was going to say, I think Waino's reaction gave me a lot. He just leaned back in his chair.
Man, you know,
that should have been called strike three.
I'm on camera right now. I can't react. You know, I want that one though. But you know what's cool is this guy's mixing all his pitches in for strikes, and they got to be ready for 95, so they can't hit, you know, the curveball. But then they got to be ready. They're all of a sudden now he's throwing changeups for strikes too. Man, you don't know what's coming.
Fastball high that time to run the count full. So Grandal, after being down 0-2, as he often does, works the count full. He walked his first time.
This is how you get back in it right here. If he puts Grandal on, now you've got something working with a very dangerous hitter who's got the only RBI for the other side up on deck.
Payoff pitch to Grandal. Fouled away. Talked about Grandal, who had a career low swing rate this year. He was more aggressive as the season went on, but when it comes down to postseason play, Grandal hasn't hit particularly well in his career. But he is patient. 7th straight postseason appearance for Yasmani Grandal. Almost 40 games played. Another payoff from Garcia coming. Grandal sends it in the air to left. Brantley ranging back at the wall. A leap, and it's gone! First extra base hit of the series for the Sox. Gets him back within 2. Brent Strom making his way out to talk with Garcia. It is postseason home run number 6 for Yasmani Grandal. And the Sox are back within a pair.
Well, changeup up and a leadoff walk again. Scores. A changeup up to Grandal. Much like Kyle Tucker, the wind's blowing out apparently to left.
Those flags are moving.
So that ball went far. Waino wasn't sure it was going out, but I was. As soon as he hit it, I was like, here we go.
Now that one I felt like it was going to go farther than Tucker's ball for whatever reason, but I'm actually surprised he even swung at that. I think it was because the other 2 fastballs before that were up and away also, so he threw the changeup right off that exact same spot. He's got tremendous power, though. He does. He can backspin a ball with the best of them. And that's really all you can ask from the White Sox side right there. Now they're back in the game. The crowd's rocking again. They were kind of up like, all right, should we go ahead and start heading to the parking lot, or what do we need to do? And now all of a sudden they're back in it.
Here's Jimenez swinging at the first pitch, charging Correa with the glove, fires away, just got Jimenez in time. And there are 2 down in the 3rd.
What a play. Crowd rocking. Ball chopped. This ball, Correa doesn't make this play, the crowd gets even wilder, even crazier. Nice play. Comes in, gets it over the top, perfect throw. I mean, just great play by Carlos Correa right there.
With a very dangerous hitter coming up in Moncada. This guy, you know, they don't get that out right there. There's 1 out, a runner on first, and this guy, he swings a lot of pitches in the middle of the plate, but he doesn't swing it hardly anything outside of the zone. He's got a very good idea of the strike zone.
I'll take one to start.
I remember our pitchers meeting. Mike Maddox said this guy will not chase. He will not chase your stuff outside the zone. Now he will chase down because he likes the ball down in the zone a little bit.
A career low strikeout rate this year for Moncada and a career high walk rate this season for Yohan.
He's not chasing left and right. He might chase down, but he's not chasing left and right.
And he's got good vision of the plate from both sides. He's a switch hitter who has been very good from both sides. Almost even numbers. Down the right field line. May have hooked it though, and he did. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Moncada.
Can we show his chain again, please? Look at that. Oh, man.
Which one?
You may have upgraded that, by the way.
Yeah.
That's an upgrade right there from Moncada.
That is, wow.
I always wonder what I'd look like that, you know, with a big diamond.
I think you should ask
necklace.
Yohan to just try it on and make sure you snap a
I
photo.
don't think I could pull it off.
Sure you can.
You got to own it, buddy. Into right field. That's down for a base hit. Moncada's second hit of the series, and it extends the inning with 2 away.
Well, that's the one thing Moncada has done better this year. Besides not chasing, he's hit breaking balls really, really well. He's killed breaking balls, especially breaking balls in the zone.
Yeah.
In the years past, he had chased them, he had missed them. This year, you throw him a breaking ball for a strike, he's getting hits and he's doing damage off of them.
Yep, very good strike breaking ball hitter.
Moncada and Gurriel at first base, both Cuba. Gurriel now the all-time postseason leader among Cuban players in hits and RBIs. Here's Gavin Sheets, who struck out his first time. The rookie, who played 54 games during the regular season, hit 11 home runs, 5 of which came in the last 5 weeks of the year. Now, as Luis Garcia has labored a bit here in the third, Christian Javier is loosening up for the second time in this series. He did not pitch in game 2. On the ground, pulled foul.
It was a walk that started this rally, wasn't it?
Robert walked after he was down in the count 0-2 and came back to draw the leadoff walk. Abreu struck out. Grandal, the opposite field homer to left. Jimenez a ground out on a good Correa play, and Moncada with a 2-out single.
Sometimes as a pitcher, you're up 5-1. You try so hard not to give up a 4-run homer with nobody on base, you know? You got to attack those hitters right away.
Sheets into right field. That's down for a base hit. Moncada will stop at second. White Sox putting together a rally, and the tying run is on base here in the bottom of the third against Garcia.
And exactly what the White Sox needed to do. Like you said, Wayno, chip away, chip away, chip away. Now it's 5-3, and they have a chance here. One swing of the bat by Garcia to take the lead.
So many offenses are good momentum-based offenses, too. You get that ball rolling, the next guy can't wait to get up there. And as a pitcher, you've got to just do whatever you can to stop that right away before that wheel starts turning too big, because these lineups can be really, really dangerous.
Well, here's a momentum stopper. Martin Maldonado's like, let's slow this down. I remember Kenny Rogers. Remember old Kenny Rogers, the pitcher?
Yep.
I played with him one year, and he said, listen, if guys get on base, I'm going to put the game to a halt. And I said, why? He said, just trying to take the air out of the ball. I want them to have to wait on me, and I'm going to throw it slower and slower and make them wait. Because when the offenses get rolling, like you said, Wayno, they want to get up there and get going. First pitch, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Now a quick word from DraftKings.
Hey, better. This postseason, bet $1 to win $100 if either team gets a hit. Download the app, sign up with the promo code, and make it rain.
2 on, 2 out, bottom third. The number 8 hitter is Larry Garcia, who struck out his first time against Garcia. Luis to Leori again. In the dirt on that breaking ball to start. 1-0.
Houston showing a lot of faith in their rookie pitcher right here. I appreciate it. You know, their starting pitching sometimes is what gets you to the postseason. So I like seeing them trust a guy who's had a great season right now. He's had a lot of big moments for him this year, and a big moment right here.
He's got the good breaking ball. That's the one pitch that Leori Garcia struggles with most. A 1-0. 2-0. Javier was already loosening up, and now Yimi Garcia, who pitched in game 2 with that great fastball, is loosening up, and here comes Dusty Baker to make a change.
Never mind.
Sticking.
He's seen enough.
They tried to stick with Garcia to try to get out of the inning, but back-to-back two-out singles from Moncada and Sheets in this inning to get the tying runs on base. And finally, the White Sox get an extra base hit in the ALDS. It comes off the bat of Grandal. They cut the lead in half. It's 5-3. Two-0 count, 2 outs, 5-3 Houston, bottom third, and Tom Verducci, Yimi Garcia is in.
Yeah, shrewd move by Dusty Baker. When Maldonado went out to the mound, he changed his mind and he got Yimi Garcia up in the bullpen instead of Javier. Why? Yimi Garcia is his best option with inherited runners. And we talk about the White Sox facing elimination. Dusty Baker managing with that same kind of urgency.
Game 2 numbers, pitched 2/3 of an inning. So we got 3 Garcias in this at bat. First it was Luis to Leury. Now it's Yimi to Leury, and it's 3-0 on Leury.
2-0. You don't see them. You don't see very often where the manager changes pitchers in the middle of an at bat.
Garcia was the first man out of the pen to relieve Framber Valdez in game 2. His 3-0. Back with a strike. Fastball, slider, curveball mostly. Leury Garcia sends one to deep center field, and the White Sox have taken the lead in game 3.
That was a blast.
Dead center. The first career postseason home run for Leury Garcia, the longest tenured member on this roster, has just put the White Sox back in front after 5 unanswered by Houston. Chicago has 5 here in the bottom of the third.
Incredible what one walk and one swing by Grandal can do. Change the momentum of this game, change the crowd. And now the White Sox are ahead. Just a 3-1 heater. He gets it up. I already mentioned that the ball is flying out, but
That hit the batter's eye.
yeah, I know Dusty Baker knows his team better than I do, but the matchup of Luis Garcia throwing his breaking balls to Leury Garcia is a better matchup for me than Yimi Garcia coming in already down 2-0. Guess what? He's going to see a heater 2-0, which he did. Then he saw a heater 3-0, and then he saw a heater 3-1, and he hit a 3-run homer.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Hernandez. 436-foot shot from Leury Garcia.
From the 8-hole.
Talked about lineup depth.
These lineups, man, they're deep and they're strong all the way to the bottom. 436 feet out of your 8-hole. That's pretty impressive.
2-2 on Hernandez. Got him at the knees with a fastball to end the inning. But what an inning it was for the White Sox. They hadn't had an extra base hit in the first 2+ games. Grandal, the 2-run home run to cut the lead in half. And then Leury Garcia, the super utility, the longest tenured White Sox. A 3-run blast. We're through 3 in game 3, a 1-run game.
Get up, never address me as Robert, less it's by that De Niro. Far from a hero, I ain't never saved my home.
Through 3 to the 4th, 6-5 White Sox in a back and forth game 3, 2-0 series lead for the Astros. Leury Garcia, his first career playoff home run. A 3-run shot off of Yimi Garcia. Dusty Baker's decision backfires, and it's 6-5 White Sox. Dylan Cease taken off the hook for Chicago. There's an 0-1 from Michael Kopech to Jake Myers. And it's quickly 0-2. RBI single for Myers back in the 3-run second inning. The 2-run home run by Tucker put Houston up 5-1 before the 5-run third for Chicago. Kopech home with an 0-2. Close pitch, 1-2.
So how long can Michael Kopech go? That's the question.
That is the question.
He's had 23 pitches so far. We told you his career high in relief was 51 last week.
He can go 5 innings. We heard it earlier.
Did that as a starter earlier this year.
This is a huge inning, though. I mean, this is a big. They put a 0 up right here. That'll be huge for the White Sox. Get that shutdown inning after the big inning to get back in the game and get on top of the game. Actually, be a huge 0 right here.
1-2 to Myers. 1 away. Kopech, 25 years of age, from Longview, Texas. Originally drafted in the first round in 2014 by the Boston Red Sox. You mentioned it. He was one of the big pieces in the Yoan Moncada Chris Sale trade. He and Moncada have been important pieces for the White Sox. Here's Martin Maldonado. Kopech's been used as both a starter and a reliever. 4 starts this season. 3 of them came in the back ends of double headers. Missed some time due to injury in the middle of the year. There's the fastball at 98, and it's 1-1 on Martin Maldonado, who's still looking for his first hit of the series.
I like this guy's stuff a lot. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying, but I mean, he's moving it in and out. He's controlling it. He's moving it up and down. He's got a good breaking ball to go off of it. I don't know why you wouldn't want this guy to start, honestly.
Injuries, injury history.
There's a 1-1. Off the fist, a defensive swing from Maldonado, and it's 1-2.
The ball took off, got halfway, and exploded.
This is self-defense. Ball's going to hit him if he doesn't swing it.
I'm going to swing right here. Oh, no, I'm going to get hit right here. It's the right idea. He sped him up. You know he's starting early when he swung at a pitch that almost hit him in the belly button. He's having to get going early because he's got such a great fastball. So you know if you could throw a nice breaking ball at the bottom of the zone, down and away, he's going to swing and miss if he is able to swing at it. So guys starting early like that, you can exploit it with some spin.
How about just rush him up?
Yeah, or that.
2-2. Down and away.
How many times, though, you're a pitcher, so you don't know. But as a hitter, you see a hitter swing at one in, up and in. You throw in the 2 strikes, you get up and in, and then you're like, oh, here comes the breaking ball.
Yeah.
As a hitter, they dive out. And those 2 takes showed me right there. He was looking breaking.
Yeah,
There's no way you can take that swing and then take those breaking balls if you're not looking for it.
It's a good take for sure.
3-2 on Maldonado. Kopech, one of the best put-away pitchers this year. Maldonado spoils a pitch there to stay alive.
He used to be a hitter, AJ. As I've gotten older, it's harder to see that spin.
Oh, what did we talk about when I saw you in St. Louis when you were in the wild card game? I said, come on now, you need to get a hit. You said first pitch slider, you're going to go deep off Scherzer. Didn't happen.
Well, I was bunting.
The situation changed.
The next at bat, it was not for a lack of trying.
It was a slider, too, I have to admit.
It was not for a lack of trying. I tried to hit it back to Brunswick, where I'm from, and came up a little missed.
There's a payoff to Maldonado. Down at 101 at the knees, and Maldonado can't believe it. He has struck out twice on fastballs, and both times Maldonado was certainly curious about the call when he turned around to ask Tom Hallion about it.
Curious, yes. That's one nice way to put it.
Pretty nice way to put it.
Yeah, 101. Usually you drop the bat and act like that. I mean, there you go. Got the Tom Hallion going.
Just copying you, AJ. We got somebody make that into a GIF, Pete, please. AJ doing the Hallion lawnmower.
AJ, when you go back out there, you got to look at Tom and say, hey, I need that same pitch for my pitcher, right?
Well, of course. You say some bad words and let him know that you didn't appreciate him ringing you up twice.
Well, it's 3 straight strikeouts for Kopech, and 4 of the last 6 on strikes. Back to the top, and Altuve ahead of the count, 1-0. Ooh, way inside. 2-0 the count. Altuve has reached base safely in 19 straight division series games. He's always gotten off to hot starts in the playoffs. Been one of the best playoff power hitters in Major League history. Hit a career high home run number this year with 31 in the regular season. 18 career postseason home runs and 40 RBIs, the most by a second baseman in playoff history. Kopech comes back with a strike.
2-0 breaking ball.
Yep. He's an amazing player. There's so many ways that Jose Altuve can beat you. You know, you just wouldn't think looking at him that he would have as much power as he does. And he, you know, steals the big base when he needs to. Makes the great defensive play like he did a couple games ago when he needs to. He's just an incredible baseball player. He's got incredible instincts on defense and offensively. He's a great player.
Ahead of the count, 3-1.
Be careful right here. Be careful on this pitch. White Sox just took the lead. 3-1 home run by Leori Garcia. Jose Altuve's got one thing on mind right here. He's thinking, I'm going to get the head out on 99 from Kopech, and I'm going to see if I can make this 6-6 right here.
And Altuve, when he gets the head out, oftentimes pulls the ball to left field. He's got a lot of pull power.
Key to getting him out is keeping the ball down. He loves the ball up.
3-1. Elevated fastball, and he did not chase. It is a 2-out walk for Altuve, his second walk of the night. So that's one time through the order now for Michael Kopech. He'll face Brantley with 2 down. This is what the Astros have done with 2 outs in this series so far. 9 of their runs have come with 2 outs out of the 20 they have scored.
Oh, those 2-out walks.
We talked about walks being a huge issue, and obviously that's the case in just about every postseason series, but they've been quite prevalent in the first 2+ games in this set. Brantley's 0 for 2. Altuve not stealing bags at the rate that he used to. 5 for 8 this season during the regular campaign. The White Sox, prior to the bottom of the 3rd, had scored in 4 innings in this series. The Astros had answered 3 times, so the shutdown inning after the White Sox have scored has been rare. A big opportunity for Kopech to try to get out with no damage done and the lead intact. That's why he's trying to keep Altuve close, because if Altuve lifts second, a base hit from Brantley ties the game.
Yeah, I'm putting all I want my pitcher to focus on 23 at the plate.
Right.
Listen, Altuve steals right here. Great. He's still got to get a hit 23. So for me, if I'm Grandal, I'm saying, listen, Michael, let's just get this guy. If this guy gets out, nothing else matters. If Altuve steals second, third, you still get Brantley out. Guess what? It doesn't matter. So get focused. That's just taking attention away from the thing you need, which is the hitter.
First one. Just a little low.
And see that Altuve on first, slide step. Went from 100, 95. First pitch to Michael Brantley. Again, get the guy at the plate.
Maybe he's just trying that little baby sinker at the bottom of the zone, trying to get him to roll over something. I wish I could just get me over baby sinker at 95-mile-an-hour pitch. That'd be great.
The other way into left field. That's what Michael Brantley does. Uses all fields as well as anybody, and a single. His first hit of the night. Back-to-back 2-out base runners for the Astros here in the 4th. Now Bregman coming up.
Those 2-out walks, I'm telling you, they are from the devil. They are. They just extend those innings, and you know there's no holes in this Astros lineup. So, you know, you walk him, and then all of a sudden you walked Altuve. Now you got Brantley up. Okay, well he won a couple batting titles or real close to it. Oh, well he hit a single. Okay, now you got Bregman up, and then you got Alvarez up. I mean, this is a tough lineup to navigate through for any pitcher. But if anybody can do it, this Kopech can do it. No doubt about it.
Bregman singled on the infield in the 3rd off of the glove of Kopech. Struck out on that 100-mile-an-hour heater from Cease back in the 1st. Inside with a fastball.
And then see, he went back to the high leg kick. He's not worried about Altuve stealing 3rd. Right. 98. Jumped at 3, 4, 5 miles an hour.
That is amazing. What was the velo on the changeup? Did you see?
90, 89.8.
1-0. Back up the middle and into center field. Altuve around 3rd. Here comes the throw. It is cut off, and Alex Bregman has tied the game at 6 apiece. A 2-out rally from the Astros here in the 4th.
What a game, first of all. Nobody gets the lead and wants to hold on to it, right? But 2-out walks, the devil walk, as you said, Wayno. I mean, and then what? I mean, he just takes this ball right here and just belts it up the middle. Bregman 2-out hit. I mean, it's incredible. These two teams, what they've done tonight with 2 outs, and what the Astros have done this whole series in big moments. I mean, it's hit after hit after hit in these big moments. It's incredible.
This is a heavyweight fight right here.
Yeah.
They're just knocking each other around and coming back. But, you know, there's things that you notice when you're up here in the booth that you don't really notice when you're on the mound. You know, the 2-out walk, you're not thinking anything. You got 2 outs, nobody on. You know, a really tough hitter at the plate, but you're thinking, all right, I'm just going to pitch him really tough, and I'll get the next guy. But then all of a sudden, you know, geez.
The guy on deck, the problem is he has a 14-game hitting streak. That's Michael Brantley.
Yep.
So.
Well, we have a moment. A quick word from Loan Depot.
The home smells like citrus.
Our home smells a lot like fresh cut flowers.
It's just that feeling of coming in and you're like, I'm home.
Tony La Russa has Ryan Tepera loosening up in the White Sox bullpen now. He pitched an inning in game 2. 2 on, 2 out in the 4th. The Astros have tied the game with a run across. They've scored in 3 straight innings. Yordan Alvarez has walked and struck out. He scored when he reached base on that leadoff walk in the 2nd. Bregman's single has tied the game.
Is it 6-6 in the 4th inning right now? Oh man!
But you weren't kidding. This one feeling like a heavyweight fight.
Oh man!
It feels like it tonight.
Fury and
Wilder the other night.
They just kept knocking each other down, right, until finally somebody couldn't get up. But right here, okay. So the White Sox, we talked about, they don't shift a lot. This right here with this guy hitting, I don't love the shift right here. Full shift, right? Because this guy's so good. Kopech's going to pitch him away. He's not going to challenge him in because this guy will hit one. Alvarez will hit one 500 feet, right? The whole left side of the infield's wide open. All he's got to do is get one of those fastballs away, get a little ground ball to the normal shortstop, and it's 7-6 Astros.
Career OPS 950 against right-handers, 945 against left-handers. So already a good indication of how he can use all fields against different sided pitchers. Those are really good numbers.
We saw it in game 2 when he got the hit to left, right, or up the middle off of the left-handed pitcher, right? Off of Crochet. Was it Crochet or Bummer?
Did that against Bummer.
Bummer, yeah.
That was the one to take the lead. He had the RBI to center in the 7th inning.
The Astros are 3 for 6 tonight, runners in scoring position. They're hitting 440 with them in the 3 games of this series so far.
Timely hitting, something that often pops up in these conversations during postseason series. 2-1 on Alvarez. He had a timely hit. He got one off of Garrett Crochet back in June for a walk-off. One of the 5 regular season wins for the Astros in 7 meetings. The 2 White Sox wins came at this ballpark in July against Houston. The 2-1. Foul back. Chance to get out of this inning with only 1 across and the game tied. Here they come in Chicago.
You gotta love that crowd trying to get their team out of this big jam right here, get them back in the dugout.
Two. About 40,000 umpires all thought the inning was over.
Well, only Waino wanted that ball. That ball's inside. It's a great take. It's a good pitch. It's in.
Good pitch, good take.
That guy wanted it more than you did, Waino.
3-2. Runners will be moving on this pitch with 2 outs in the 4th. Fouled away again.
Goodness, what a battle.
Oh,
yeah. Holy man. I'm exhausted.
We're only in the 4th, buddy.
Oh,
by the way, speaking of exhausted, Kopech's at 46 pitches.
That's right. We told you 51 is career high out of relief.
5 innings going to be tough tonight. He's only at 2 innings. Unless he's going to hit 100+ pitches, which there's no chance Tony La Russa will allow him to get to 100+ pitches. This might, if he gets out of this might be it. After the adrenaline and everything.
Trying to put the spell on Alvarez. Another 3-2. He struck him out. It's been a back and forth 3.5 innings in game 3. Astros come back to tie it. Bregman the RBI. But the strikeout from Kopech gets Alvarez to close the inning. I guess some credit goes to that gentleman right there. 47 pitches for Michael Kopech in 2 1/3 innings in relief. Allows the tying run, but limits the damage. It's 6-6 to the bottom of the 4th. Tim Anderson's aggressive, but he'll take here and a strike from Yimi Garcia. 0-1. Anderson a single and a run scored in the bottom of the 1st. Then 5 unanswered, beg your pardon, by Houston. The Sox scored 5 in the 3rd. The Astros scored 1 in the top of the inning. Outside, and it's 1-1 on Anderson, who continues to extend that major league record in the postseason. 14 hits in the first 6 career postseason games. There's a strike near the top of the zone. 1-2 on Tim Anderson. And Zach Greinke, who is shifting to the bullpen for the postseason, at least for this series, is beginning to loosen up. Dusty Baker said if he used Greinke, he would like to use him at the start of a clean inning if possible, to keep him in line with his starting routine. 2-2.
Bueno, you've started and closed, pitched out of the bullpen. Is there a difference? Does that mean something, starting a clean inning? Why can't you just come in with guys on base and get them out?
Well, a guy like Zach Greinke could do it. I really do believe that. I mean, he's pitched in every situation a pitcher will ever pitch in ever, right? Like he's pitched forever. He's probably a future Hall of Famer. He could do it, but it is different. It's different coming in.
Broken bat. Garcia flung his glove at it. Correa with a tough play, and Anderson beats it out. "15 playoff hits and another leadoff single for Anderson. This one starts the 4th.
I like Zach Greinke in any situation, but I do agree with Dusty. Just bring him in. Just, you know what? But why would you? You have guys that are down there that's what they do. They come in mid-game. Their craft is getting people out. You know, like Yimmy was earlier. We talked about how he was one of the best in all of baseball, getting clean innings out of the, like when there's runners on out, there's already runners on base. He's one of the best in the game getting out of those situations. There's people in that pen that are really great at it. He's a starter. Let him come in a clean inning. But if anybody could do it, Zach Greinke could do it for sure. He's not going to be scared of any situation.
Here is Luis Robert. Sox have put the leadoff man on base in 3 of the last 4 innings. The first it was Anderson. In the third it was Robert with a walk. He came around on the Grandal 2-run home run.
I was just thinking ahead, you know, like let's just say the Astros or the White Sox go first and second here, no outs. There's not a whole lot of bunting going on in these games with these two lineups, right? So that wouldn't be one reason to bring in Zach, because he's an incredible athlete, a great fielder of his position too.
No,
that's not a reason.
Jose Abreu's not bunting.
No, I know Abreu's not bunting.
Yasmani Grandal not bunting. Eloy Jimenez not bunting.
We're not in the bunting section.
Not bunting. Sheets not bunting. Leroy Garcia maybe. Cesar Hernandez maybe.
But they never expect it. It might work.
Off the fist, roll past the shift of Altuve, and Anderson's going to go first to third. The throw from Tucker's not there. The Astros shift more than any other team in the American League. That time the shift hurts them.
From a pitching perspective, I know the shift probably helps you more than it hurts you.
It definitely helps more than it hurts.
It probably does for sure. But as a pitcher, the liner that goes past your head, you expect that to be a hit. The one that you get a jam sandwich from somebody and they hit a 47 hopper to second that ends up being a base hit with a guy that's been there for 150 years. Those are the ones that hurt your feelings the most. Whether it makes sense or not. I mean, he made a great pitch, jammed him up big time right there, but he forced it over there and there's nobody there. That's great hitting, but it also hurts the pitcher's feelings. You know, it just hurts you deep.
I feel like he did everything possible to try to get an out on that play. Now it's first and third, still nobody out, and here is Abreu 0 for 2 tonight.
Garcia's looking for a ground ball double play. They'll give up one. The Astros feel like they're going to score some more. They'll gladly give up 1 run for 2 outs right here. That's why the infield's not in. And I wouldn't honestly be surprised to see Luis Robert try and steal a base here.
Especially with Abreu up to bat. You get 2 right here, you've really pulled a magic act over.
Abreu bouncing ball past Correa. White Sox regain the lead. On his way to third, Robert. He'll take that base. An RBI from Abreu, and it's 7-6. Back and forth we go again.
Here he comes.
Infield single from Anderson. Robert singled him to third, and the base hit from Abreu drives in the go-ahead run. Yimi Garcia is done. Zach Greinke's coming out of the pen for the Astros. Third, Abreu at first, nobody out. The go-ahead run is scored in the fourth, and it's called to the bullpen, sponsored by Intuit QuickBooks Live. 19 career postseason appearances for Zach Greinke. 19 starts for the first time in his long and potentially Hall of Fame career. He's going to appear in the postseason as a reliever. 2 weeks before the end of the regular season, while he was nursing a sore neck and coming back from injury, told Dusty Baker, "I'm willing to do whatever it takes in the playoffs." Here he is facing Grandal. And a foul sharply hit off to the left. These two know each other well.
I bet Zach's got tons of at-bats off all these guys, which is, good for both sides, right? You know exactly what the hitter's trying to do, but the hitter, again, knows everything you're trying to do, too. It comes down to execution.
Shift is on for Grandal, who hit the 2-run home run in the third. Bouncing ball to the right side. They're coming home with it. The throw is away from the catcher, Maldonado. Tom Hallion got taken out by Robert. Abreu goes into third.
The ball hit the runner. Grandal inside the line. The throw home hit the runner.
It hit his helmet, right?
He was inside the line, and the ball hit him when Gurriel threw it home. I don't think you can do that.
It's going to be a dead ball potentially here.
I don't think you can do that.
Dead ball potentially here. First off, is Hallion okay after Luis Robert came charging in at home plate?
What in the world just happened?
Wild
He would have been out at the plate, but he was way inside.
What happened to Hallion?
He got trucked by Luis
Robert came charging home.
I mean,
so here's the play.
Grandal's way inside. Like, I mean, he's crazy inside the baseline right here. Like, he's in the grass, doesn't get out of the way. The ball hits him, and then Luis Robert sliding in and just takes out Tom Hallion at the plate.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty to sort out here.
I mean, Dusty's reaction, he just got his hands up in the air like, what is going on?
That's crazy. Was it just me or the first baseman looked like the glove in the left center field stands at whatever the Giant Stadium's called now, too? He's like the biggest glove I've ever seen.
Dusty's going to lose it right now.
He's going to get the explanation here.
He's way inside the line.
I mean, he was in the grass.
Yeah.
Saying it doesn't matter where he runs.
Here's the question, though. Isn't the 45-foot box, right? I think the rule, and I could be wrong here, but I think the rule is you establish the line until the 45-foot box, and then you have to be inside the two white lines.
The other thing to establish here that's very important to this, the runner's lane rule doesn't apply to the play because the baseline is essentially whatever you establish it as. I'm sure that's part of the explanation for Dusty Baker. So Grandal's already inside the line. He didn't go out of his way.
I'm not going to say he did that on purpose, but he did that on purpose.
He did not do it on purpose.
I think that might be the veteran
play. He stuck his shoulder right into that ball.
And then on this, Robert takes Hallion out from his legs.
I mean, wow. And then Tom Hallion gets... Oh, boy. I mean, that was...
So let's piece this together, by the way. Again, the lane line, so to speak, is where Grandal establishes it. So he's going right out of the box. That throw, by the way, doesn't apply with the base runner, only applies if he's getting thrown out at first base. So that's a throw that comes home. It's a choice from the first baseman in that instance in Gurriel. So the ball is live until it isn't at the end of that play. That's why the run comes across. After all of that, Abreu ended up at third. It's Grandal at first base. Fielder's choice RBI E3 on Gurriel. And it's 8-6 White Sox. Still nobody out. And now Jimenez at the plate with runners at the corners. And goes after the first offering from Greinke.
Reggie Jackson, World Series, sticking his hip into the ball. I mean...
I was thinking of A-Rod when he was doing his running motion and he hit the ball out of the catcher or the first baseman.
Yeah.
You're thinking of 78, the runner's interference call against Reggie Jackson.
Speaking of A-Rod, he also did that against us when we were in Yankee Stadium. Stuck his hip into Reggie Jackson. Jose Contreras and Orlando Hernandez were on the team at the time. He did it off of, I think El Duque was pitching. It was in old Yankee Stadium. El Duque and Jose Contreras said they were going to hit him every time they faced him from that point on, and they did. Because he, yeah, it was bad.
There's a strike at the knees from Greinke.
I just got a text that said that is a very AJ Przinsky play by him right there.
I feel like somebody's
more,
maybe game 2 might pop up at some point. All of that being said, though, there's still nobody out. A single. That wild play that ended up as a fielder's choice E3 RBI. And it's first and third. Nobody out. 1-2. In the dirt, smothered by Maldonado. 2-2 the count on Eloy Jimenez.
The Astros have to, at a minimum, 9-6 to have a chance in this game. you get bigger numbers than you get a 10-6, 11-6. You're starting to think about tomorrow night's matchup. But
this is wild. When this game ends tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the afternoon, it is going to be crazy.
2-2 pitch. 3-2. A laborious fourth inning for the Astros staff. Second batter that Greinke's facing.
So I was at the Minnesota Twins. We had that play happen right there. Runner to first. End of game. Mike Sweeney was the first baseman. Corey Koski hit it. I was on deck. He was running down the line. Mike Sweeney hit Corey Koski right in the chest. Game over. We win. We're celebrating. They're stretchering off Koski.
3-2. With a roller up the line. It's a fair ball. Gloved by the third baseman. Bregman not in time. Run scores. It's 9-6 White Sox. The heavyweight fight is starting to turn into a cage match with this crowd. 9-6 on another close play.
A few innings ago, this crowd was quiet. Now we got hoop, there it is, and we got air guitars left and right. This is absolutely bonkers. And if you're Zach Greinke, you've given up 2 doinks in a row and no outs. Crazy.
Well, the White Sox haven't exactly smashed the ball around the ballpark this inning. The first hit was an infield single, then 2 choppers through the hole, right? And then more choppers. That ball was going foul, hits the line. Roger Bossard, the groundskeeper for the White Sox, he engineers the line so it'll stay fair. I mean, that was blatant. It was going foul, hits the line, and kicks dead right for a knock.
And now Moncada, 0-1 the count. He flew out on a good play by Jake Myers in center field to take an extra base hit away from him. Singled and scored in the third. You talk about Roger Bossard. He's the godfather here.
Sodfather.
The Sodfather, that's right.
This ball's going dead foul. Watch. Whoop,
yeah, it hit the line. Hit the line and had that English right back into fair play.
That's why Roger Bossard always gets a full share when the White Sox make the playoffs.
It is one of the best grounds crews in baseball. There's a 1-1. The White Sox 3 for 19 in the first 2 games with runners in scoring position. They only scored 5 runs in the first 2 games of this series. They scored 5 runs alone in the third, 3 more in the fourth to make it a 9-6 lead. The 2-1. 2-2. For Zach Greinke coming into a tough spot, inheriting runners in his first career relief appearance in the postseason. 6-time All-Star, including 3 straight years from 2017 to 2019. The Cy Young Award winner, what feels like a lifetime ago, in 2009. This guy has had a very impressive career with longevity and a huge spot here in Game 3.
Let's not forget we're only in the 4th inning.
Yeah, long way to go in this one.
The 4th?
What else could happen? Home runs, plays, guys sticking their, getting in the way of throws to home plate. I mean,
and every time we say, man, they just have to do something now or blah, blah, blah. They do something crazy, but the other team comes right back.
Yeah.
So
Greinke gets Moncada to chase, and the first out of this 4th inning comes on the 6th batter of the frame.
I'm such a Greinke fan. I'm such a Zach Greinke fan because I know how hard it is to pitch as long as he has without any injury, like without any setback. I mean, the guy's never missed any time except for whatever he had this year a little bit, but he's been such a horse for so long. It's really remarkable. And as he's dropped in velocity and whatever he's made up in pitchability, it's really been cool to see.
29 starts this past year and 30 appearances. Here's Gavin Sheets with 1 out and 2 aboard. The bottom of the 4th. Takes a strike. Greinke 33 starts in 2019. 33 starts 2018. 32 starts 2017. 26 more in 2016. The numbers are the same year in and year out for this guy. Remember the incredible 2015 he had with that Cy Young candidacy. Finished second that year with the 1.66 ERA. 1 ball and 1 strike on the rookie Gavin Sheets, who has had big hits in his young tenure with the White Sox.
Greinke's got one of the coolest changeups of all time too. He throws a changeup that's like 1 mile an hour off his fastball a lot. I've never seen it. It is crazy. It plays almost like a 2-seamer, but people swing at it like it's a changeup.
It's because he grunts really loud when he throws it.
2-1 on Sheets.
He will not give in. He'll keep throwing. He'll keep trying to dot that outside corner with the fastball and the changeup. 89, like you said, 89 fastball, 88 split change, whatever you want to call it. And he will not give in. He will just keep trying to hit that outside corner.
Be ready for the 60-mile-an-hour curveball that comes off of it too.
Tossing Ephus once in a while in there as well. Sometimes he'll just tell the catcher what he's going to throw. Two on, 1 out in the 4th, and a 2-1 to Sheets. Is on the ground to the right side, past the diving Gurriel. Stop sign at third base for Grandal. Into second base goes Jimenez. A single for Sheets, and the bases are loaded with only 1 out as the rally continues. That'll bring up Leury Garcia, who had the game-changing home run back in the 3rd inning, a go-ahead 3-run blast off of Luis Garcia. Oh, Yimi Garcia, beg your pardon. You see that? A 436-foot home run in this divisional series. Every Moonblast home run over 425 feet. FTX is donating $10,000 to charity.
The White Sox still haven't hit a ball hard this inning.
Okay, so the 4 singles they've hit, the 4 singles, 73 miles an hour off the bat, 72 miles an hour. You had the 109-mile-an-hour shot, and then 60 miles an hour from Jimenez. That's it.
Wait, which one was 109?
On the ground to first, Gurriel's got it. Force it home. They get the out there on the lead runner, Grandal. That's the 2nd out of the inning. And on the fielder's choice. Huge 2nd out for Greinke.
Just look what he's doing. He came in this game and he's got nothing but choppers through the infield this entire time. Doinkers that are finding line. Guys are running into balls with their shoulder. I mean, he is pitching his tail off right
Garcia
now.
should have learned from Grandal and ran right at. Why can't you run right at the first baseman?
He established his line right at the first baseman. Right?
That's what I'm saying. Run right. That's what I told you to teach your outfielders to knock balls over the fence.
I'm just thinking.
Teach the base runners to run
guys,
right.
AJ's just going to write a book on the new. Like you're the new Moneyball. This is going to be where we go from here on.
We'll never make it out.
I still contest that. He sets his line, but he has to kick straight towards the base. And he had a little veer in there.
He did. Cesar Hernandez will.
What do you mean he has?
Look at a strike.
What do you mean he has to go? If he's running in the grass, he ain't going towards the base.
Well, where he started, and then he's running towards the base, which I agree with. He was way inside the line, but he had a little bow in that line.
I think what Wayno's saying is that he veered almost into the grass to start, and that led to what you talked about with Grandal kind of staying in the line and maybe taking that throw in the shoulder and maybe having a little bit of awareness.
Just run right at the first base.
Well, he's also probably 10 more feet off the line that time. I think.
I'm just saying. These rules are getting confusing up here,
buddy.
Whatever it takes.
By the way, the 109-mile-an-hour shot was the Abreu base hit.
Yeah, but it was 109 miles straight into the ground.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, there's a whole city down there in Texas somewhere that is pretty up in arms about what's happened a couple minutes ago.
Sure.
Go out.
Feels like Wayno may have had an experience or two at some point. Ball and a strike on Hernandez. What a game. 17 hitters combined in this 4th inning between the Astros and White Sox. My goodness, what a game. Still in the 4th, a 1-1. On the ground to first, Gurriel is there. Foot race to the bag, and the inning finally comes to a close. But 3 runs from the White Sox, a little voodoo magic. First home playoff game since 2008. The play from Grandal was wild. It led to Robert and Hallian colliding. Hallian and Baker A little bit of English up the line at third. What an inning to the fifth. 9-6 in game 3. Finishes up 2 2/3 innings of relief for the 2 1/3 inning of relief for the White Sox, and goes 47 pitches. Ryan Tepera had a quick outing, pitched a 5-pitch sixth in game 2 against Tucker, McCormick, and then got a double play from Maldonado. He'll face Correa to start this 5th inning. Folks, what a game here in game 3. 2-0 series lead for the Astros. White Sox scored first in the first. Astros scored 5 unanswered in the next 2 innings. A 5-run third for Chicago. 1 in the 4th for Houston. 3 for the White Sox in the bottom of the 4th. And now the Astros bat down 3. Correa has scored twice tonight. And he takes a strike.
Seen this guy come in some really tough situations in Chicago, across the other side, the north side, and get a lot of really good outs. This is a very, very good pitcher right here.
Traded from the Cubs in late July. 1-2 on Correa.
Well, he's a little bit different than most relievers. He's more of a multi-pitch guy, right? He's a pitchable guy. He's got more than 2 pitches. He's got a cutter, slider, curveball, changeup. He can throw all the pitches, right? So it's a little bit of a different look than most bullpen guys are used to seeing.
4th playoff trip for Tepera. Correa goes the other way. Garcia was playing deep. He comes on for the out. One away in the 5th. Almost to the halfway point here in game 3. Adam Amin, Adam Wainwright, AJ Pierzynski, Tom Verducci, our fantastic crew. I know you've been through playoff games like this, guys, where it's back and forth. It's a slugfest. It's going to be a long night. Give me a quick sense of where you guys are at, AJ.
I'm in shock of everything I've seen. We're only 4 innings, 4 1/3 innings now, and we've seen big hits. We've seen mistakes. We've seen crazy plays. We've seen crazy bounces. It's what a game.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about baseball is that you could play it your whole life. You could be in the game for a really long time, think you've seen everything, and every day you show up, not every day, but a lot of days you show up and you go, I've never seen that, and that happened today.
There's Tucker, who's had a huge series. First pitch to the first baseman Abreu, just as it was in game 2, real quick to get the first 2 outs for Tepera out of the pen.
Well, they've set the bar, I mean, for wackiness. I mean, you know, it's only halfway over, not even.
Yeah.
Let's double this. I want to see something crazier happen. And, I mean, you know, this is one of my debuts in the booth. You know, I got to do it last year with y'all, but I'm not a seasoned vet at this. Might as well make it as interesting as possible.
Hey, man,
they're coming through.
Sure thing. That's how it is sometimes. And the old adage is, you think you've seen everything in baseball, and then you come to the ballpark and you see something new every day. And that's been the case here tonight. White Sox trying to do something that the Astros did last year in the ALCS. They got down early 3-0 in the series to Tampa Bay, came back to force a game 7, eventually losing it. The White Sox down 2-0, trying to come back. There's a strike to Gurriel. He's 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for 10 in the set for the AL batting champ. Gurriel, 37 years of age, winning his first batting title. What a season he had. Ball low.
It's that little slider cutter. It doesn't seem like hitters get a real good look at that pitch for whatever reason. It's like they have a hard time picking up the spin. Something. I've seen some really bad swings on that slider on him.
It's the pitch he uses the most, 45% of the time. Tepera goes with a slider. Opponents hit 132 against it this year, although opponents didn't really hit much of anything from Tepera between his 2 stops in Chicago this year.
That Cubs bullpen had a stretch where they didn't give up even a hit for like 50 innings or something crazy like that.
Down the left field line, and it is foul. It'll be 1-2 on Gurriel. That was really the effort for the Cubs that at one point got them towards first place in the first half of the year.
Kimbrel had a 0, I think, against everybody, and then Tepera had a 1, and there was a couple other guys in that mix too.
Tepera looking for a 1-2-3 fifth. Gurriel, one of the best two-strike hitters in the game. Try to get him to chase. Appeal down to first. No swing, says Vic Carapazza. 2-2 the count on Yuli Gurriel.
Never get the call when you wait. If you don't get the strike right away, you never get the call when they appeal late.
Tepera downhill to Gurriel. And it's the first 1-2-3 inning since the top of the first. We're halfway through game 3.
Boring.
This is the postseason where a moment, any moment, can become major. Tonight is a great example of that. You can follow at MLB on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to make it major. 9-6, White Sox on top. And Christian Javier checks in at the top of this inning. 36 appearances in the regular season. Great strikeout numbers for a guy who started and came out of the bullpen as the year went on. Javier 4-1 this season. Made 9 starts of his 36 appearances. He faces Tim Anderson, who's got 2 singles tonight, including an infield knock that started that 4th inning. There's a strike. And it's 1-1.
Javier, fastball, slider, curveball, mixes in a changeup. Mainly fastball, slider, though. Needs strikes, needs innings. Somebody's got to give Dusty Baker some sort of length in this game.
How many more people are down there?
Came in with 8 in the bullpen. Obviously, the off day on Saturday. They've used Garcia, Greinke, and Javier already out of the pen. The only question mark was maybe Kendall Graveman, because he had pitched each of the first 2 games of this series, and both outings were a little lengthier.
This is when you're a starter and you're sitting on the bench. You start looking at the other starter. Although they may not have any other starters on the bench.
Sure.
But it's where you look at the other starter and you go, do I need to go put my spikes on? Like, what do you think? You start asking, you start polling the audience about it.
Anderson down to start this inning. Roberts singled to back up Anderson in the 4th. Javier comes home. Christian Javier, 24 years old, from Santo Domingo in the Dominican. Made his major league debut at the start of the shortened season last year. Made his postseason debut in the wild card series against Minnesota a season ago. Finished 3rd in the voting for AL Rookie of the Year behind Luis Robert, the man at the plate, and of course the winner from Seattle, Kyle Lewis. 0-2 the count.
I wonder what the best ballpark food here at this park is.
I will say this is a very high level ballpark food joint. So if you're looking for something, I feel like America would love to see you eat something on camera.
We had a great Chicago dog earlier.
I had to teach you what a Chicago dog was today.
You named all the ingredients.
I think my mom and dad would be very proud that I was able to rattle off the old menu from our restaurant.
Give it to us real quick.
Celery salt, sport peppers, tomato, pickle, sweet green relish. You have to have mustard on it. You're not allowed to put ketchup on that particular dog. You can put ketchup on hot dogs in Chicago. Nobody's against that. But you can't put it on a Chicago-style hot dog and call it a Chicago-style hot dog. It's that simple.
There you have it.
I think we narrowed it out.
But the ice cream helmet is the most popular item here.
Ice cream helmet.
The helmet nachos are very popular, and AJ's right. The ice cream helmet.
I'm thinking savory more than I'm thinking sweet right now.
Maybe it's nachos for you then. Maybe it's the nacho helmet.
There it is.
That's the ice cream helmet right there.
We could split one of those, Wayno.
1-2 on Robert. Down
split a helmet.
Got 4 more innings.
We got a long way to go, boys.
What are we going to eat for breakfast?
When this game's over, you mean?
I hope it is. I hope it's just legendary. It's already legendary.
Been a fun night in a back and forth game. 9-6 bottom 5. A 2-2 to Robert. Breaking ball lifted down the line and foul. We had a wild game over in Boston tonight. The postseason continues with a full day tomorrow. Brewers and Braves are tied at 1 in the series. That's on TBS. If we need a game 4 in this series, it'll be at 3 Eastern tomorrow on FS1. Rays and Red Sox back on FS1 tomorrow night, with the Red Sox 1 step away from the ALCS. And then a 1-1 series out west as the scene shifts to Chavez Ravine for Giants-Dodgers. Big cut from Robert and Javier with back-to-back big strikeouts to start this bottom of the 5th inning. He's looking for a shutdown frame. Fried, Urias, Vasquez, some of the postseason headliners. Fried has been one of the best pitchers in baseball over the last month plus. Urias getting the key win in game 2. And tonight in that wild game that went to the 13th inning, Christian Vasquez with the walk-off home run to give Boston the series lead.
All these series are going to be, if the White Sox come back and hold on to this one, all these series get real interesting. 1-1 in both National League. The Rays, the best team all year in the American League, on the brink of elimination in Fenway. White Sox have been the best team at home all year. They win tonight. They got a chance to get this series back to Houston. The Braves going home 1-1. Dodgers going home 1-1 with Scherzer on the mound.
Just awesome. Alex Wood will pitch for the Giants tomorrow in game 3. So there's another added storyline going up against his former club. Scherzer's been excellent since coming over from Washington. Ian Anderson getting to start for Atlanta tomorrow. We'll see who Milwaukee comes out with. 0-2 on Abreu. A chance to strike out the side for Christian Javier. Guy who was cut down on his walk issues. 0-2. Bouncer in the dirt, and it's 1-2.
Maldonado's so good at that.
He's a wall back there, I think was the word you used for him.
He is just so, the ball just hits him and dies. It never, I mean, just boop. Even off the face mask, it just right there, perfectly in front, nowhere to go.
17 Gold Glove Award winner Martin Maldonado behind the plate.
I've been up to bat a couple times when he's thrown through to second base to get runners caught stealing. And when that ball whizzes past your ear, it looks like a bazooka.
There was a sequence the other day where Astros pitching had Maldonado behind the plate, and he called for 3 straight curveballs. 2 of them were in the dirt, and he stopped them both, and he called for another curveball again. Tom Verducci pointed that out to us earlier with our chat and Dusty Baker. And he said that's Martin Maldonado, as confident as it comes behind the plate defensively. 2-2 to Abreu. Close pitch, but off the plate.
And he was with the Astros a couple years ago, and then he left to go somewhere else, right? And then they traded to get him back, right? To get him back in Houston.
Martin Maldonado, yeah, the Angels.
Because he was just a vital part of that team. He controlled those pitchers really well. He blocks and throws great. And, you know, with the thump that they have through their lineup, what they needed was a defensive backstop that could really control them.
Oh! Fans have seen this all year. Abreu has been hit more than 20 times this season. Obviously not anything behind that pitch other than Javier lost it. He had a chance at the first 1-2-3 inning of the night, and he lost it, and Abreu's aboard with 2 out.
Well, you know, pitching to Abreu is tough because you have to pitch him inside to get him off those balls away. If you're just going to try to throw balls and let him lean out over the plate, he's going to smash the ball, and he can hit it to all fields. So you have to show him in there. He has a tendency to chase it in off the plate. And sometimes you run it in there a little bit too far because you know you can't leave it on the plate inside.
Right. So the inning extends to Grandal. In there for a strike. And Grandal has been at the center of this game tonight. A walk in the first, the 2-run home run in the third, and then that wild sequence on the fielder's choice error that drove in a run in the fourth.
Well, you don't want to miss over the plate, right? Wayno,
right.
To Abreu, you want it. It's got to be in or off.
You can't. You cannot miss. You can't miss the middle of the plate to Jose Abreu. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't get him uncomfortable inside, then he's going to lean out there and he's going to smack balls. So you got to get him. You got to move the feet a little bit. Now, obviously, you didn't want to hit him, but you got to move the feet a little bit so you can go back down away or stay inside to try to get him out.
back, and it's 1-2. A little more from Tom Verducci down to the field.
Yeah, getting back to that fielder's choice play with Grandal, it's important to remember that a running lane is not established until there's an attempt to make a tag at the runner. Grandal could run over the mound if he wanted. The only thing being discussed right there among the umpires is, did he do anything intentional to interfere with the throw? They got together and said no, nothing intentional. So the foul line itself, not in play there. 45-foot running lane, not in play yet. And there's not a baseline established until a tag attempt is made. So the umpires decided perfectly legal by Grandal.
Really appreciate Tom giving us the additional layer to the rule there.
As somebody that's been in the middle of some controversial plays in their
Oh, really?
career,
You don't say.
the only thing intentional was he didn't get out of the way. So again, the next time you can run wherever you like. You can run right.
You can
to
run at the
third
mound
baseman.
technically if you wanted to. Essentially.
Yeah, and you're not out. So there's all kinds of new things I'm learning. Wayne, I might make a comeback to cause chaos.
Again, I'm wondering what that book is going to be like. AJ is going to put this together and change baseball for the next 25 years.
But you know, every sport, people watch golf and play golf their whole life. There's plays that happen, and there's lies you get in on the golf course where, you know, even Tiger Woods is calling the rules official over there and saying, "Hey, what do you think, man? Like,
what can I
never
do
seen
here?
this before.
Yeah.
What do I do here?"
I mean,
that's a great thing about sports.
Just one of the wild plays we've seen in this game tonight.
I do think that his giant tricep was potentially in the way.
Grandal's a strong man.
No catcher for the White Sox would ever put themselves in a position to do something controversial.
Not at all, AJ. Jimenez on deck, 3-2 the count. Payoff pitch, runner goes. And Grandal walks again. 4 productive appearances for Yasmani Grandal, and another 2-out rally for these two teams tonight. Both of them have been putting it together with 2 outs. And now Eloy Jimenez to the plate. Two for 3 tonight. RBI single in the first to give the White Sox the early lead. RBI infield single in that 3-run fourth. Grounded out on a good play by Correa in the third. Infield plays back against Jimenez. Javier struck out the first 2 batters in Anderson and Robert. Free passes to Abreu and Grandal. Jimenez foul tips it. He has swung at every first pitch tonight.
They've tried mixing it up on him. They've thrown him a lot of breaking balls first pitch. He just came out aggressive tonight. And got a huge hit in the first inning to drive in the first run for the White Sox because he was aggressive. He got a first pitch slider, then he got another slider and laced it up the middle.
Punches that one foul, and it's 0-2. Another chance for Javier to get out of this inning with no damage done.
And like Waino said, a lot of times pitchers throw a good pitch, slider, and then they try to do it again, make it better, and they hang it. And that's just what happened to Javier. He threw him a good slider, foul tip, then he hung one. He's lucky that Jimenez didn't hit that about 500 feet.
Much better work from the bottom 2/3 of the order for the White Sox. Good stop by Maldonado again. Abreu stays at second, the lead runner. 35 years old. Drafted in 2004 by Anaheim. He muscled his way through the minors. 7 years in the minor leagues for Martin Maldonado before he finally made his major league debut with the Milwaukee Brewers. Went to the Angels in 2017, won that Gold Glove. traded to Houston in July of 18, replaced Salvador Perez in Kansas City a couple of years ago when he was hurt, traded to Chicago for the Cubs, and then went back to Houston because they wanted him. And another strikeout. It's a 3-strikeout frame for Javier. He leaves a couple men stranded. To the 6th we go in Game 3. Welcome back to the 2021 American League Division Series presented by Good Sam. White Sox trying to avoid the sweep. The Astros impressive through the first 2 games of this series. Outscore the White Sox 15-5, 9-6 in a back-and-forth game tonight. As we head to the 6th, it'll be 8-9-1 in the Astros order. Jake Myers is 1 for 2 with an RBI and a stolen base tonight. He'll face Ryan Tepera, who goes into his 2nd inning of relief after a 1-2-3 fifth. And their first strike to start. So 22 appearances with the White Sox during the regular season. Tepera did not throw multiple innings, did it 8 times in 43 appearances with the Cubs earlier this year.
Playoffs.
Yep.
Everybody has to do something they're not used to doing in order to get to the point you want to get to.
One on
He's
Jake
probably
Myers.
got these first 2 hitters, right? And then it looks like they got a lefty warming up maybe for Brantley.
For the first 3.
First
Altuve,
3. Yep.
Myers, Maldonado, Altuve, and they have Bummer for Brantley.
You're right, Myers. Maldonado, Altuve.
And Bummer, a very good ground ball pitcher. Brantley's numbers way down relative to his excellent numbers against right-handed pitching. 1-1. A little bit low, and Myers held up.
So this is a big bridge inning here for the White Sox, right? If Tepera can get through this inning, then you have Bummer face Brantley, Bregman, Alvarez. 2 of the 3 are lefties. That's a 7th they're trying to clear for Tony La Russa. Then you have Kimbrel 8th, Hendricks 9th. That's how they get through the 9th inning with their bullpen right now.
Yeah, then it's starting to look more normal.
Big cut from Myers, 2-2. It really does feel like managers, when they get to this part of the season, they're just trying to keep it on the tracks. And the tracks is starter to the 5th or 6th, bridge me to the 7th, and usually 7, 8, 9 is lined up on the back end. That's what both managers were hoping for tonight. La Russa more on track for that right now.
They both kind of went off the track.
Yeah, they did early.
But Kopech settled things down. Tepera came in, did a nice job last inning.
Cease went an inning and 2/3. Garcia for Houston went 2 2/3. 2-2. Myers deep to left. Jimenez in the park, though, is there. 1 away.
He did not miss that by much.
Just off the end, just enough.
He's retired, and that'll bring up Maldonado.
Get Eloy with the stylish catch too. The shirt's all down. He's got like the front of a romance novel look going.
You're going back to the days of the 2000s with Fabio on the cover of a lot of those books. You walk through and Jewel. Maldonado swings at the first pitch.
Maldonado looking for his first hit of this series.
0 for 10 with 3 strikeouts, 2 of them tonight, including one on a 101-mile-an-hour fastball from Kopech. He's been fanned looking both times, and both times he was fairly upset with the call. There's a cut on that breaking ball, and it's 0-2. Altuve's on deck, back at the top of the Houston order.
A good fastball down the way, set that pitch up right there. Looked exactly the same coming out of the hand. Breaks right off the same plane, right into the dirt. It's a sneaky pitch.
Home with an 0-2. 2 down. Second strikeout for Tepera. It's 5 up and 5 down against him out of the bullpen so far.
Really good slider. Like you said, set up by the first pitch of the at-bat. Starts as a strike, finishes as a ball. Maldonado cannot lay off.
I think these good hitters to chase something. You gotta throw something for a strike that looks like the one you want to chase. You want him to chase, and he did that really well there.
A couple of walks for Altuve, including one in the fourth where he scored the lone Astros run at the time that gave him the lead. And tied the game, beg your pardon, back in the fourth. 0-1 on Altuve. He only has 2 hits in the series, but he's walked 4 times.
If Tepera gets through this inning, gets us out right here, he deserves some mention for most valuable player for the White Sox. He goes 2 scoreless, settled everything down. I mean, this place was going crazy. Waino's head was about to explode from all the things happening. I mean, Tepera comes in and just calmed everything down.
He did.
At the top of the zone for strike 2. A chance for another 1-2-3 inning out of the pen for Tepera. 2 outs, 3-run game in the 6th. Bouncing ball wide of third.
It's a good spoil right there by Altuve. It's just a perfectly executed pitch and great hitting right there to spoil the pitch and get him another one right here.
Seems like if you try to attack him away, he just reaches out and keeps fouling pitches away and tries to force you to throw back in against him. One, 2. Inning over. Game 3 rolls on to the bottom of the 6th. This game featured on the free-to-play Fox Bet Super 6 app. One of the questions in tonight's contest: which team will throw the most strikeouts, and how many will they have? Chances to play Super 6 all postseason long. 5 strikeouts from the Astros pitchers, 7 from the White Sox first 2 pitchers. Then Tepera came in. It's 10-8 in favor of Chicago. Yoan Moncada will lead things off here in this last of the 6th inning. 2 huge innings from Ryan Tepera to bridge it to the 7th. Moncada lifts it in the air to the left. Brantley angling over. He's played here a bunch when he was with the Indians. Knows this park pretty well. 1 down.
If you ever want to see if you know the wind's blowing or something's happening, Michael Brantley, the way he went after that ball went up. He came in and then he realized, oh, the wind's blowing out to left. Circuitous route.
Nicely done,
Great
sir.
work.
Well done.
Go get it.
Yeah, the flags are really whipping now. You can see him up there above the scoreboard.
Watch him go in, and then he realizes, oh boy, wind's blowing that ball a little bit farther back than I planned.
One away for Gavin Sheets.
I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this on there, but I do have to mention that they brought us 3
They did.
nacho helmets.
They did.
And they're outstanding.
I was going to say, I imagine on a happiness scale, you're pretty high up on the chart right now.
I got the pulled pork,
attaboy,
jalapenos, salsa, sour cream.
So what you're saying is you're living and you're watching Game 3 of a really fun postseason series. So basically, you're living your best life at this moment, right? I think all three of us, in a sense, are. All the way 1-2.
Also realizing I need to start asking for more things. You know, like, man, I love those.
Here's
those
this magical thing.
TVs from Best Buy.
Here's this magical thing where you just go, hey, can I get one of these? And because you're Adam Wainwright and AJ Pierzynski, they might do that.
You know, an ice cold Gatorade right now would be great.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Best part about the nacho helmet is after you eat it all, you can take it home to your kids. There's your Chicago dog you had, by the way.
That's right.
I'm 100% taking this home.
Yeah, and you can wear it for BP in the offseason.
It's actually a very nicely weighted helmet. 2-2. Held up.
Question is, am I going to have to take or need to take BP in the offseason coming up right now?
Wait, no, asking you shall receive. There's your Gator.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? And Best Buy gift cards and Bass Pro Shops.
By the way, your white shirt situation right now is a little more tenuous with the nachos and the fruit punch Gatorade right now.
I'll point this G right towards the camera though. Watch.
3-2 on Sheets. And a good off-speed pitch from Javier for another strikeout. That's his 4th since coming in.
Hey, Javier's been good now, too.
Yep.
Let's not forget, he came in, punched out the side in the 5th. 2 outs in the 6th. But on breaking balls. Got a good curveball going. Sheets here, emergency hack, just trying to spoil that pitch, but strike 3. Javier's been good too. Dusty Baker needed somebody to come in and calm it down. Javier's come in and been that guy for him.
Here's Leury Garcia. A 3-run home run in the 3rd. And at the time gave the White Sox the lead in a 5-run 3rd frame. Astros tied it in the 4th. White Sox scored 3 in the bottom of the 4th. Zeros for the last 3 half innings. Two balls and no strikes. See Javier working out of the bullpen. He went to the bullpen in late May. At the time, James Click, the general manager, said this is the best option for Javier. This is the way he can help us long term for the rest of this season. But long term going forward, they still view Javier as a starter. But you have to have guys like that this time of year that can give you length on a night like tonight where Luis Garcia went 2 2/3. Dylan Cease went 1 2/3. Both starters needed some backup tonight, and that's been the case on both sides. 2-1 to Garcia. 3-1.
Pitch count relatively low. I mean, if he's a starting pitcher, he could, who knows, they might be set up pretty well right here for him to go another inning or 2.
That all depends on the score, though, Wayno. If they keep it where, if they're still behind 9-6, they'll let him go as long as he can, right? To save everybody for the next 2 games.
Nice backdoor breaking ball for a strike.
If they climb back into this game, it gets 9-9, 9-8. You see some of the big guns for Dusty Baker coming in.
Payoff pitch to Garcia. And another strikeout. 5 of them out of the pen for Christian Javier. And that takes us to the 7th. A couple of lefties due up. Brantley, then the righty Bregman, then the lefty Alvarez. Follow all the action of the postseason with the MLB app. From real-time tracking of every pitch to in-depth analysis of the games. You can download the app today to make this postseason major. Lefty on lefty. That's why Tony La Russa has turned to Aaron Bummer here in Game 3 with a 3-run lead in the 7th. Brantley, then Bregman, followed by Alvarez. Bummer pitched the 7th, or at least started it in Game 2. Altuve singled off of him. He got Brantley on a slider for a strikeout. Bregman singled, and then Alvarez singled home the go-ahead run in that Astros rally in the 7th inning where they scored 5 in Game 2. And quickly, Bummer has Brantley where he wants him. Ahead of the count, 0-2. Bummer was tagged with 3 runs in that inning in Game 2 after Correa came up and had that scorching extra base knock to right. It was a tough play for Garcia. Went back to the slider, and Brantley fights it away.
This is a tough at bat on a lefty. Bummer comes in throwing 96-mile-an-hour turbo sinkers in on your left, on your hands, and then he has that nasty slider going away. This guy has been a weapon, absolutely, for the Chicago White Sox ever since he came to the major leagues, especially against left-handed hitters. He's a ground ball machine with the high velocity.
This is one of those teams that if you don't have the lead going into like the 6th, you're in trouble, right? We faced them earlier this year with Kopech and Bummer, and I mean, they didn't have Kimbrel at the time, but their closers locked down, obviously, and I mean, there was a couple of lefties down there too that were just incredible. Just a really, really nasty bullpen.
One, two. There's that breaking ball again, trying to tail it away, and a little further out over the plate. Brantley fouled it back.
See, now he's got him set up to throw that 96 sinker in. A few breaking balls away, get Brantley leaning out.
I feel like that always works. 96 sinking in on you. Good luck to you. This guy's a very, very tough hitter, though.
Bummer to Brantley, 1-2. Got him on that pitch, tailing away, just as he did in game 2. He gets him here in game 3 for the first out of inning 7. Last 2 pitches, you guys were talking about it from Bummer to Brantley.
Well, these are just filthy sliders. That's a hanger. That's the one, if you're Brantley, you're like, oh, that's the one I needed to hit, because the next one breaks about 4 feet away from you. You have no chance. So that's how hard hitting is.
So yeah, it is, because you know he throws 96 up in on your hands, and then he throws nasty sliders down and away, and you're thinking, all right, is it going to be in or is it going to be away? And then he misses in the middle, and you're like, shoot.
There's Bregman pulling one foul. That was sharply hit. On front, it's 0-1 on Bregman, who's got a couple of hits tonight. An infield single off the glove of Michael Kopech in the 3rd, and then an RBI single in the 4th. "14 outs recorded by the White Sox bullpen. 9 of them have come via strikeout, including that one to Brantley. Again, this is an Astros team that had the lowest strikeout rate in baseball for the 3rd straight year, 4th time in the last 5 years. You have to get outs with the strikeout against Houston.
Easier said than done.
Very much so.
This shows you how good of stuff these guys have, though. Whether it's Kopech, Tepera, Bummer, Kimbrel when he comes in, Hendricks when he comes in. I mean, these guys are 95 plus, all of them, with good breaking balls, command, usually.
2 balls and a strike on Bregman. He's had big moments in his postseason career with the Astros. 11 home runs in the playoffs for Bregman.
I thought you had to throw the bat before you could go get extra pine tar or extra sticky stuff.
I get a better grip on it.
Not allowed to say that anymore.
You can't
in baseball.
say sticky stuff.
Yeah, sticky stuff, better grip.
That's a fair point.
That's what you need right there.
Well, I mean, Jose Abreu's helmet
that
probably
takes
has
too
a little
long.
bit of it too.
That takes too long, though.
Yeah, go with the spray. More efficient.
Abreu's helmet's been seasoned. It looks like a.
It looks like when you order.
Cast
I was
iron
gonna say you ordered a steak and got the topping on top of it, a peppercorn crust or something. You got me into a food mode as soon as you brought the nachos into this thing.
I'll do that to you. You hang out with me, I'll get you talking about food real quick usually.
Two away.
A filthy breaking ball. It almost looked like it was going to be a hanger, and then it just dropped out of the total bottom just dropped off of it right here. Just wham. Good pitch.
8 in a row retired by the White Sox bullpen. The last 4 via strikeout between Tepera and Bummer. Here is Alvarez. And facing this pocket of 3 with 2 lefty batters. Alvarez is the assignment for Bummer. And he gets a strike to start off Yordan.
Little buckle me up there for Yordan Alvarez.
How hard is that for a lefty hitter, AJ, when the guy comes in, you know he can throw 97, he starts the first slider right at your hip? That's got to be impossible.
That's the one you want to hit, believe it or not.
But can you make yourself pull the trigger on it?
I swung at everything, so it's a little different for me. But no, most guys cannot. Then you get that one, which you have no chance on.
Chance to strike out the side for Bummer in the 7th.
Reminds me a little Andrew Miller-esque. The fastball slider combo, very, very Andrew Miller-esque.
Bummer to Alvarez. Stretch time in game 3. Third inning is where things turned around. It was 5-1 Houston. The White Sox had not had an extra base hit in the series until Yasmani Grandal's 2-run home run. Later in the inning off Yimi Garcia, it was Leury Garcia's 3-run blast to give the White Sox the lead. Astros tied the game in the top of the 4th, but Jose Abreu, part of a 3-run rally, drives one in. And then this play, deemed legal after the explanation that Dusty Baker got from Tom Hallion. It scored Luis Robert. That was part of the 3-run frame. That was the last inning that runs were scored. It gave the White Sox a 9-6 advantage. Kyle Tucker has been huge for Houston throughout the series, and tonight as well with 4 RBIs. First Houston player ever with back-to-back 3+ RBI games in the playoffs. The White Sox offense had been relatively dormant in the first 2 games in Houston. The 3rd and 4th innings, they finally woke up. The bullpen's been excellent for Chicago tonight. For Houston, it's Christian Javier continuing after he came in the 5th inning, now into his 3rd inning of relief. And the White Sox potentially have their 8th and 9th innings lined up for Kimbrel and Hendricks to try to keep their season alive, with the Astros leading the series 2-0. Cesar Hernandez will take the first 2 pitches close but away, and it's 2-0.
We asked Tony La Russa before the I asked Tony La Russa before the game. 1-run lead in the 8th, is Kimbrel your guy? He said yes. With a 3-run lead, definitely, I would assume. But the Astros are a little mad because the lawnmower's only been mowing the Astros lawn, not the White Sox lawn, Tom Hallion. But Kimbrel hasn't gotten up yet. Maybe there's some thought to let Bummer go.
There is a lefty due up in Kyle Tucker in the next half inning. And obviously Tucker has been a thorn in the side of the White Sox pitching staff, although Tucker is a pretty decent power hitter against lefties as well. 3-0 in there for a strike to Cesar Hernandez.
Javier, another name, if the Astros end up winning this series, is going to be in the talks for most valuable players for today's game anyways, because he's absolutely been huge for them today, holding this down right here.
In his 3rd inning of relief. Left 2 batters stranded in the 5th. Struck out a pair of batters in the 6th. You see Kimbrel now grabbing the hat.
If there's any thought from La Russa to let Bummer try and get Tucker out.
He'd have to face Correa, obviously, too.
Tucker, he's only threw 14 pitches
right
his inning, so I wonder if there's any thought to let him get those 2 and then bring Hendricks in to try to get the last 4 out.
And of course, that may change if the White Sox add on in this 7th inning against Javier. A leadoff walk from the 9-hitter Hernandez. 5 of the 7 leadoff walks in this series have scored. As Waino shivers hearing that stat.
Leadoff walks and 2 out walks.
Yep.
There's something about 1 out walks, nobody scored. Just I don't know, weird things happen like that, but no out walks and 2 out walks. It's like a man.
Well, it just changes the complexion of your approach. I would imagine you're trying to get the final out, or at least try to get off to a good start in an inning. And this throws you off track. Back to the top, and Tim Anderson, who's 2 for 4 tonight. And that's typical Tim Anderson right there, aggressive. He had been very patient. He had swung at the first pitch in the second and grounded out. Other than that, he had laid off the first pitch.
That's not like him. That is not like him.
I mean, you know it. He goes after the first one. If you give him one, he's going after the first one.
He was getting trigger happy. He was getting itchy.
Javier misses low, and it's 1-1. Check the first. Bouncing ball is wide of third and foul. 1-2 the count on Tim Anderson. Signed a 6-year deal before the 2017 season. He is under club control through 2024. Team options on his last 2 seasons. Batting champion already. An improved defender. Obviously has improved as a power hitter. Jose Abreu agrees. You really can't see the pine tar on that helmet for Abreu.
I mean, it reminds me of a well-seasoned cast iron pan.
Sure.
It just looks. It's got that seasoned look about it.
He's almost trying to hide the front of it now.
They used to make you take that off. Remember, the clubhouse guys used to have to come and make sure you could see the logo.
Right. 1-2 pitch.
I love that little back and forth right there. You got a tough pitch up and in, which I was a big fan of, and then Anderson looks out there and goes, "You didn't get me off that plate." I saw it. I see what you're trying to do. I love that.
See Ryan Stanek loosening up in the Astros bullpen. Christian Javier with a 2-2. Up and in on Anderson, and the count runs full.
Stanek's up because Dusty senses Javier might be getting a little bit tired here. 54 pitches. Walked Hernandez. The ball's come up, right? The first 2 innings he was down. He really pinpointed his breaking ball. Ball started coming up and in, like you said, Wayno. It's usually a first sign that a guy's getting a little fatigued.
Payoff pitch to Anderson coming. Got him.
I really love that pitch right there.
Really good tail to it.
Good pitch. After a couple of fastballs up and in, really good slider down the way. Like AJ said, sometimes when you're getting a little fatigued, that arm side miss up is a thing that happens a lot. To come back and get on top of that breaking ball down and away right there, a very important pitch right there.
There's Luis Robert. On base twice with a walk and a single. He has scored both times he has reached. In the air, right center. Tucker got kind of a slow start to it, but he's there for it. 2 away. Let's go down to the field and check in with Tom Verducci.
Well, Adam, if the White Sox do get this ALDS to a Game 4, Tony La Russa said before the game the ball will be in the hands of left-hander Carlos Rodon. Now remember, he's been suffering from some shoulder soreness, has pitched only 5 innings in the last 20 days. And in those 5 innings, his fastball, normally at 96, was down to 91 miles per hour. But Tony La Russa said that after a bullpen session, Carlos convinced him that he's good enough to start. The key will be that shoulder strength if we do get to a Game 4.
Pitching change here as Javier does his work out of the bullpen. Try to give some backup to this Houston staff. We're in the 7th. First time reaching back-to-back postseasons for the Chicago White Sox franchise in an expanded playoff last year and winning the Central Division this year. First home playoff game in 13 years. Down 2-0 in the series. They've had more to cheer about tonight. Ryan Stanek got the win in Game 2. The 17 pitches on Friday. He'll face Jose Abreu here with 2 outs and a man aboard in the bottom of the 7th inning.
The Stanek fastball, changeup, slider. Really mostly fastball, changeup. We'll throw some sliders more to right-handed hitters. He started Abreu with one right there.
Big cut from Abreu on that fastball. Quickly 0-2. Outstanding work. You guys both talked about it. From Christian Javier, who goes 2 2/3 without allowing a hit and strikes out 6. Greinke was able to get out with no damage done against him in his inning of relief. And now Stanek trying to back it up. He's responsible, Javier is, for Hernandez on the leadoff walk. Struck out Anderson and got Robert to fly out. And now Stanek trying to put away Abreu.
Grandal a full 15 feet from the batter right now on the on-deck circle.
Yeah, he's a little closer than than I would feel comfortable with, certainly.
Well, there's no way he can get hit by a foul ball.
What are the circles? Are those?
Those are just general areas you're supposed to be in. General areas. They're suggestions.
The ones up by the club.
Oh, those are the fungo circles when you hit fungo.
Yep.
Is that what that is? Okay, that makes sense. I don't think I've seen that.
Maldonado thought about snapping a throw to first.
Have I seen that? Is that a normal thing, or is that just unique to here?
I think it's unique to here.
Yeah.
There are some places that used to have it, I believe, but yeah, that's Roger Bossard, the sod father, coming up with a new way not to have to grow more grass.
Yep, makes sense.
Abreu 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts against Stanek in his career. The 1-2 coming. 2-2. Astros trying to make the American League Championship Series for a 5th consecutive season. Only 2 teams have ever done that. The A's went to 5 straight in the 1970s. The Braves, of course, had their impressive run in the 90s. For the 2-0 series lead. Game 3 back here in Chicago. Game 4 tomorrow afternoon if necessary. Abreu reaches out to ground it to Correa. Short out to Altuve, and the inning is over. White Sox have a 3-run lead to the 8th inning. Correa, Tucker, Gurriel coming up. The slider to Brantley. The slider to Bregman. The fastball to Alvarez. Aaron Bummer struck out the side in the 7th, and Tony La Russa sticks with him here in the 8th. Carlos Correa leads things off. AJ and Waino, you guys were alluding to this, that maybe Bummer would stay on because Tucker is due up, and he's been very good. Both Craig Kimbrell and the 9th inning closer Liam Hendricks are loosening up behind Aaron Bummer here, but you would imagine Bummer is out there to go after Tucker. Pitch to Correa is a little bit low. And the count even at a ball and a strike on Carlos Correa, who reached on a walk and a fielder's choice in the 2nd and 3rd, scored both times. Tucker has 4 RBIs tonight and 2 extra base hits, including the home run.
But why not? Why even have Kimbrell up if Hendricks is up with him? Why not just, if you're using Bummer to get through Tucker, you use Hendricks to get the 3rd out of the inning, and you have him pitch the 9th. There's no reason to have Kimbrell up.
Well, Tony La Russa talked about it too, where Oh, well, Craig Kimbrell, who had struggled a little bit, well, that's not his inning. He's not an 8th inning guy. Well, that's going to be talked about then, too. Why is he being used in the 8th inning if he's not an 8th inning guy? That's going to be a question going forward. Hendricks has been lights out in the back end of the White Sox pen. 1-2 from Bummer to Correa here in the 8th. Tried that backdoor slider and just missed.
But thinking back on the trade to get Kimbrell, I just know how nasty that bullpen already was. Everybody already had established roles. They go out, they get Kimbrell, which by all accounts one of the greatest closers of all time. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to add any time a pitcher like that to the back end, but now you have both the guys that would have been the closers for the National League and the American League All-Star team, and they don't fully know their situation down there, right? Like, it can complicate things when you add an incredible arm to the back end of a bullpen that's already incredible. Now you got Hendricks looking over his shoulder, and you got Kimbrell maybe looking, ahead, going, why am I not pitching? Maybe they're not thinking that. I'm just thinking it could potentially complicate things, because Craig Kimbrell had a 0 in the 9th inning this year, right? Something like that, real close to it, if not a 0. So I don't know.
His 8th inning ERA.
Why mess with a good
higher,
thing?
yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
2-2 to Correa. And another strikeout from the White Sox bullpen. That is 6 straight Astros that have gone down on strikes. The highest strikeout rate in the major leagues from a pitching staff belonged to the White Sox. The lowest K rate from a batting group was the Astros. Right now the White Sox pending is winning them over.
Well, the first 2 games, the Astros won that battle. And tonight, the White Sox bullpen has really been pretty incredible after Kopech. Kopech did a nice job settling things down, but you get Tepera, now Bummer. They've done a really nice job of saving this game for them.
Well, neither team has scored since the 4th inning. Both bullpens have put up 3 zeros apiece. Here is Tucker to face a lefty in Bummer. Tucker's the only Astro who has not struck out tonight. And he went around, according to Tom Hallion. 0-1 on Tucker. Now, obviously, a lefty-lefty matchup is more advantageous to the pitcher, but Tucker did show power against left-handers. He took Sean Manaea of the Oakland Athletics deep 4 times this year.
That's ownage.
It is.
4 times in 1 year.
That shows you how nasty this guy is, because he just swung at a slider a foot off the plate.
And now it's 0-2 on Tucker.
Nice catch by the fan in the second deck here.
Get a couple of those tonight, huh? Oh-2. Just staying alive, Kyle Tucker.
I mean, Bummer's slider is disgusting tonight. It is making a right turn.
You got the hottest hitter down the stretch of the regular season, who's already got, what, 2 home runs this series of really good pitchers, and he's looking like he's completely defeated against that. But also at the same time, great hitting to foul it off and spoil a really tough pitch right there.
No team has ever struck out 7 times in a row in postseason history. The last 6 Astros have been fanned. 0-2. And that streak will not be broken. A bouncer to second. Tough play by Hernandez, and he gets Tucker hustling down the line for the second out of the 8th inning. 11 in a row sent down by the White Sox bullpen. And is that it for Bummer? Sure enough, it will be. At least with La Russa at the top step. Bummer comes on in the 7th. He faces 5 batters, strikes out 4 of them, and retires all 5. And will it be Hendricks or Kimbrell? That's the question. Looks like Kimbrell, if he's still loosening up. Things are about to get even more interesting, as if they haven't been already. Kimbrell coming on. Bummer, 5 up, 5 down. And here he comes. Last inning in 2/3, and now our pitcher profile is sponsored by Intel. As Craig Kimbrell comes on, you see the splits. He was pitching the 9th inning with the Cubs on the north side, in the 8th inning on the south side with the White Sox. came in the 7th inning of Game 2, faced 4 batters, including Yuli Gurriel, who lined out to right field. Correa doubled and Tucker homered off of him, and then he got McCormick to pop out to end the inning. But he doesn't have to worry about that. He's got a 3-run lead, trying to get 1 out to get it to the 9th inning. And a strike to Gurriel to start at 97 from Kimbrel. One of the great closers in Major League history, up there on the saves charts. Pitching in the 8th.
Kimbrel, 2-pitch guy, fastball, curveball, pure power, an intimidating stance when he peers in to get his sign. But like you said, one of the best closers of all time.
Facing Gurriel, who still seeks a hit tonight. Goes after that one, and it's quickly 0-2. "11 Astros in a row sent down by the White Sox bullpen." Kimbrel trying to close the 8th. In the dirt. Just 13 pitches on Friday in Game 2 for Kimbrel, and obviously the off day Saturday for both teams. Kimbrel downhill on 1-2 to Gurriel. Bouncing ball to Moncada. Picked out by Abreu. A 1-2-3 8th between Bummer and Kimbrel. White Sox have a 3-run lead, hoping Hendricks can close it out in the top of the 9th. First to the bottom of the 8th. Playoff baseball tomorrow across TBS and FS1. Brewers and Braves. In Game 3, Freddie Peralta and Ian Anderson tomorrow. Astros, White Sox right here on FS1 at 3 Eastern. Rays, Red Sox tomorrow. Eduardo Rodriguez for Boston. Alex Wood, Max Scherzer on TBS for Giants, Dodgers. Yasmani Grandal has one of the 2 big blows for the White Sox tonight. In this entire series, they still have only 2 extra base hits. They both came in the 5-run third. The 2-run Grandal home run that made it 5-3, and the 3-run Leury Garcia home run, which made it 6-5. Ryan Stanek continues to work. Grandal quickly behind in the count, 0-2. He's been aboard via walk, homer, that wild sequence with the fielder's choice and error, and then a walk in the 5th. Kimbrel got the final out of the top of the 8th inning. 12 in a row sent down by the White Sox pen. And it will be up to Liam Hendricks to try to close this out. Chicago looking for some insurance here in the 8th. There's a cut from Grandal and a strikeout. 1 away. Let's take a look at our Hyundai lift of the game and travel all the way back in time many moons ago to the bottom of the 3rd inning in that 5-run frame. Grandal and Garcia.
Grandal gets a pitch up. Oppo just out of the reach of Michael Brantley. And Garcia gets a heater right down the middle. 3-1 count. Gives the White Sox their first lead of the game. Excuse me. 6-5, second lead of the game. And the White Sox just kept piling it on from there. A couple crazy plays, but those 2 home runs were huge.
Here's Eloy Jimenez. He's got a couple of RBIs tonight on a couple of singles.
Garcia had what, 5 home runs in the regular season?
Yeah.
And he hit a 436-foot home run to dead center in the biggest moment of the year. Yep. I mean, how clutch is that?
Wild.
It's awesome.
He has 2 hits in this series. That was one of them. Check swing. And it's 2-0 on Eloy Jimenez.
You know what's always amazing to me? It doesn't make any sense to talk about it now, but the first and third base umpires, you know, when they catch them in appeal, they're never like just looking in the stands, right? I have a feeling I would be doing that.
Your vision would drift a little bit?
I think so.
Do you think you'd be influenced by the people in the first row yelling at you?
I think I might be. We talked about it earlier. There was been twice today that I've forgotten I was in the booth, and I was just total fanboying up here watching the game, just get captivated by this incredible game, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be talking about it.
2 balls and a strike on Eloy Jimenez. Stanek comes home. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We have had moments tonight where we've drifted off, not in the sense that we're not paying attention, just the game's been so wild, and also once in a while you got to put a dent into this, as Waino did. I think AJ actually put a little bit more work into his.
Yeah, way more than Waino.
I didn't. He demolished it.
Yeah, well done, gentlemen.
I left all the lettuce on the top, though.
You're a high protein guy.
Give me the meat.
Clearly. Here's a 2-2 pitch. 3-2. In the top of the 9th inning for the Astros, it'll be Myers, Maldonado, and Altuve. So 8, 9, and 1 due up for Houston, likely against Liam Hendricks. .38 saves this year. Only Mark Melancon of the Padres had more in Major League Baseball. Altuve guaranteed and at bat.
I think we might see a pinch hitter somewhere in there.
Probably
Jason Castro.
Maldonado, perhaps.
Maybe Maldonado, maybe Myers, try to get it going.
3-2. Oh, on the outside edge at the knees. According to Tom Hallion. Jimenez strikes out looking. Back-to-back Ks for Stanek to start the 8th.
Oh, nasty breaking ball right there by Stanek. I don't know if Jimenez was more surprised that it was such a good pitch or that Tom Hallion called it. Either way, a frustrating at bat.
Stanek is done. He gets the 3 outs that he needs. Further into the bullpen goes Houston. Highway Miles with 5G. Home or away, stay connected to your team with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage. Look at the bridges across the Chicago River. Back at Guaranteed Rate Field, Brooks Raley deals to Yoan Moncada, who lifts one foul down the line. First appearance for Brooks Raley in this series. He is the first left-hander out of the pen. In fact, the only lefty out of the pen for Dusty Baker. ERA a little elevated, but he was very good down the stretch of the season. 11 of his final 12 appearances were scoreless. Lefties hit under 200 against him.
Well, this is just an opportunity to get him in a game.
Yep.
He hasn't been in a game yet. There's 2 outs, nobody on. Dusty wants to get him to get control of his emotions, get feet wet in the playoffs. A lot of breaking balls from Brooks Raley.
Moncada with a single tonight. That was in the 2nd. He scored one of the 5 runs in that 3rd inning. Out in front, and it's 1-2, and a chance to finish off this inning. 1-2-3 for the Astros bullpen. Only 1 base runner the last 3 frames for Chicago. That was the walk to lead off the 7th to Cesar Hernandez. One-two. Hard hit ball into center field. Moncada reaches with 2 outs. He's aboard to extend the inning. It would be Gavin Sheets in this spot, but with the lefty Raley out there, they'll take the lefty Sheets out and bring in the right-hander Andrew Vaughn, who made his first career Major League postseason start in Game 2. Went 1 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts, but singled in the 8th inning of that game. You see his numbers from what was a productive rookie campaign. He played a major role in the outfield with Eloy Jimenez out most of the year.
Did a really nice job. Struggled down the stretch, like you said, but early in the year especially, once he got his bearings at the major league level, he was a weapon in the middle of the White Sox lineup, especially against left-handed pitching. He was death on left-handed pitching.
.938 OPS against left-handers for Vaughn. It was around .600 against right-handers. He hits the fastball well. He struggles with the breaking ball.
But he likes the breaking ball coming into him.
That's right.
So that's why this is a good matchup for the White Sox. Raley's going to throw cutters and sliders coming into him. Tony La Russa's hoping he clips one out front for a home run.
We saw him earlier this year do that exact same thing. I believe in a pinch hit at bat. Might not have been a pinch hit at bat, but he took one of our lefties deep for the exact same thing you're saying. He had a little cutter coming into him, and he clipped it and pulled it to left for a homer.
He did that against Aroldis Chapman earlier this year. That one ripped foul. It was back in May. He had a game-tying pinch hit solo home run at Yankee Stadium off Aroldis Chapman to tie the game on a 99-mile-an-hour sinker. White Sox would lose that game, but it was a big moment for Andrew Vaughn to acclimate himself to the big league level. And he's played respectable defense this year. In the air, left center field. This one is carrying back towards the wall, and it's going to head all the way to the fence. Big insurance run will score to extend the lead to 4. Andrew Vaughn off the bench delivers. A 10-run outburst for the White Sox tonight.
Not a lot of people have left from this blackout crowd tonight. This is exactly what Tony La Russa was hoping for. Another breaking ball. Vaughn's ready for it. The third one in a row. Not a terrible pitch, but he gets it out front. The ball's coming into him. He's a little bit out front. Scoops it out there into left center for an RBI double and a 4-run lead for the White Sox.
Here's Garcia. There are shoe tops. I mentioned the home run and showed it to you. That 436-foot home run to center field was the longest of Garcia's career. Another 2-out rally in this game. Both teams have done it throughout the series. First 2 men in this inning struck out against Ryan Stanek. Then you got into this pocket of switch hitter, lefty, switch hitter, switch hitter. The lefty was taken out. Vaughn came in and delivered the RBI double after Moncada singled. 2-0. 2-1.
This is where that strategy by Dusty Baker, it backfires a little bit, right? He brought in Raley to try to get some confidence, get his feet wet. When now he looks up, he's faced 2 guys, giving up 2 hits, a run. Now next time, will Dusty Baker be as sure going out to bring this guy into the game if they need a big out?
And he's the lone lefty in that pen. And there's only 2 lefties on the pitching staff for the Astros. Framber Valdez is the other one, the starter who pitched in game 2. And then it's Raley.
This crowd is on the edge of their seat because their guys warming up right now, and they're about to erupt, aren't they?
Hendricks coming in likely.
If Hendricks comes in when that gate opens, this place will go crazy.
It's going to go crazy. I always love teams that do big closer productions. That's a big deal, man. Fans love that. Players do too, unless you're playing against it.
I hated Hell's Bell.
I was going to say, or if you don't like the song choice.
Yeah.
Payoff pitch. Fouled away. Yeah. Or maybe those songs end up in your brain and start to haunt you a little bit.
Every time I still hear Enter Sandman, a bat just magically breaks my garage.
That's the old
Mariano
Wonderful Life mantra there. Every time Enter Sandman plays, a bat breaks somewhere on this planet.
Mariano Rivera, every time I hear that song. Yep. I used to like that song, and then I had to face him, and it all went away.
I can remember being a rookie and saying, I want to see Hell's Bells today. And one of the veterans going, I'm sorry, what?
Excuse me?
You want to hear what? Like, that's a great point. I guess I don't want to hear
I guess you don't want to hear that. That means that means our team is down, and Trevor Hoffman's coming in for a big save.
Exactly.
3 balls and 2 strikes on Garcia. Vaughn at second base with 2 out. The RBI double to score Moncada and add some insurance. Raley trying to end this inning and get his Astros offense back up there. Another payoff pitch coming. Garcia over the third baseman Bregman. Another run will score. Vaughn comes home. One of the biggest nights of Leury Garcia's career. It's 11-6 Chicago.
So much for none of those extra base hits you were talking about, Adam, except for those 2 home runs, back-to-back doubles by the White Sox. Even Hendricks is like, let's score as many as we can, make this 9th inning even easier on me. But have a night, Leury Garcia.
So now who else do the White Sox have down that bullpen? They might start thinking about not bringing big fella in, right?
Oh, no, he's coming in.
I mean, he's already warmed up.
Kimbrel, you could tell by the way he was standing, he had shut it down, right? He's already out, and they don't want to risk getting somebody else up.
And Hendricks has really been heated up at this point. You probably want to use him. He's warmed up for the last couple of frames.
He's warm. He had yesterday off. You only have 1 game before another off day.
Bring him
Find
in.
a pitch back-to-back days. Bring him in. Let this crowd have one last big pump. End this game as quickly as possible if you're the White Sox. You don't want to mess around. Bring in somebody else, have them get in trouble, then have to bring Hendricks in.
There's a 1-0. Hernandez breaks his bat. Like I said, somewhere enter Sandman. Correa had to adjust. Oh, what a play by Carlos Correa. He had to adjust with that bat, helicoptering towards him, and just gets Cesar Hernandez at first. We'll see if there's a challenge here that would end the inning.
Was that bat about to hit him right in the face?
I mean, I couldn't tell exactly from here, but that path of the bat was heading to Correa, and he definitely had to shuffle just in case. My goodness.
It's got to be scary. A bat coming right at you.
I mean, it's that bounce that it took that added another element to that. And then after all this, it's a play at first that was called out by Vic Carapazza, but is being reviewed right now.
Man, from our angle, that bat looked like it was just tomahawking right towards his face.
No kidding. My goodness.
Cesar runs really well, too. Yep.
I always love the crowd reactions when they show on the big screen. What it did is it messed up Correa's footwork.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't get enough behind that throw, or at least that he typically would have gotten behind it had he not had to deal with that bat. Even Leury Garcia had to maneuver around it.
What are the fans seeing that I'm not?
That he's safe?
You can hear the reaction because they're playing the replay review up on the Jumbotron here at Guaranteed Rate. And it looked like we may have beaten it out.
I finally watched the review.
See this giant screen in front of you?
You were asking for the big TVs. Well, here they are for you.
There they are.
You asked for Enter Sandman and a broken bat. There that was, and now you got it up on the big board. Tom Hallion with the call. Safe. We'll see how it gets scored. It'd be a very difficult error to put against Correa considering the circumstances, but it may be. We'll see.
It's got to be a hit.
It will be. They have just ruled it, probably rightfully so, as a hit.
Well, Hernandez just beat it. There was no bobble. There was no bad throw. He just beat the play because of the...
The only thing I was thinking is because Correa's throw was a little off kilter, but it's to your point, AJ, that he had to adjust, and that's why maybe his throw wasn't as on target as it would have been otherwise.
Well, that scared everybody in the left side of the field.
Absolutely. Garcia and Correa.
How good is his arm, though, to be able to flat foot that ball across that with that kind of velocity? That's amazing.
So Garcia ends up at third. Hernandez safe at first on the infield single, and back to Tim Anderson, who might be looking for one final knockout punch in terms of insurance runs. Already 2 across here in the 8th. White Sox wanted a balk there against Brooks Raley. None such call. Skips, and again, Martin Maldonado with a runner at third. Rock solid.
Still working his behind off behind the plate. Not one to give up anything. Down 5. It's a tough pitch to block, and Martin Maldonado does not give away anything.
Ball and a strike on Anderson. One. 1-2. Boy, all this started with 2 outs. Stanek struck out Grandal and Jimenez to start the inning. Moncada singled. Vaughn the pinch hit RBI double. Garcia followed it up with an RBI double to score Vaughn. Infield single by Hernandez. And now a ball and 2 strikes on Anderson. Yes, this has been a long inning, a long night. White Sox trying to avoid the sweep. Astros will come up in the 9th, likely against Liam Hendricks. 1-2. 2-2.
Damage with 2 outs has kind of been the story of the day, really, right?
At times in the series, too, but definitely today.
That whole 2-out rally earlier was that was the 2-out walk. I mean, it just swayed the whole tide of the game back then, didn't it?
Really does feel that way. 2-2 on Anderson with 2 on and 2 out in the 8th. Ground ball past Correa, and the White Sox will add another. 3 in the 8th. It's 12-6. It scored 5 in the first 2 games in Houston. They've put the offense together here in Game 3. And it's Anderson's first RBI of the series. That is 16 postseason hits in 2 series the last 2 years for Tim Anderson.
And another 3 hits.
How about this guy in the American League Division Series? A.J. Brzezinski, 0-2 Game 5 against Oakland with the Twins. Game 1 against Boston in 05. 2 home runs in that game. And of course,
the last time the White Sox scored 11 or more in a postseason game.
That's right.
That's right, twice. Another interesting stat. There have been 6 home runs by White Sox catchers in the postseason. 5 of the 6 are in this stadium tonight. Me and Yasmani Grandal.
But why didn't you hit any of those for the Cardinals in the postseason?
Because I didn't get to play. Because I didn't get to play.
Not any of them. Goodness.
I didn't get to play.
Wait,
it's hard
like,
to play when
you
Yachty's out there.
You could have. It's like you could have helped my guy out here. AJ. There's the 1-1. Robert flips it foul. 1-2 on Luis Robert. "16 hits tonight is a White Sox postseason record. 2 home runs in the 3rd, 2 doubles in the 8th. The extra base hits for them tonight. Anderson with his first RBI of the series, part of a 3-run 8th inning here. 1-2. 2-2 on Robert.
Anderson, another 3-hit night. What is that, 5 of 6 career postseason games?
That is correct.
He's had 3 hits. He knew it, too. He was telling the whole world, that's 3 again.
Well, it was Tim Anderson, who obviously is going to be at the microphone when things are going poorly, because he is one of the leaders of this team. He said, "It ain't over." That was his quote from yesterday. It ain't over. Well, he delivered on his end tonight. Robert floats it out to right for Tucker. A 3-run 8th, a 12-run 16-hit outburst for the White Sox. And here comes Liam Hendricks for the 9th to try to keep the Sox season going.
In the position to win. In the position to go. In the position to win. In the position to go.
Australia, 5th trip to the postseason with a 3rd team. Last 3 years he was with the Oakland A's. And of course they knocked out the Chicago White Sox in 3 games in the AL Wildcard Series last year. Comes to Chicago on a major contract, puts together a fantastic season. saves 38 games to lead the American League and now makes his home playoff debut for the White Sox to try to put this game away. Defensive changes for Chicago. Leury Garcia takes the spot of Eloy Jimenez. Adam Engel will take over in right field. Vaughn takes the DH spot, and it's Hendricks facing Aledmys Diaz, who swings at the first pitch and sends it to center. One away in the ninth. Diaz pinch hits for Myers in the 8 spot. We'll see Jason Castro pinch hit in the 9 spot. He's been a very good pinch hitter this year for Houston.
Dusty trying to get his bench guys some work in case they're needed for later on in the series or in the postseason. You don't want to go too long without having guys get at bats.
"13 in a row sent down by the White Sox bullpen." Here's Castro. Strike one.
Hendricks does not mess around out there. He gets it. He comes right after you. You're getting a fastball or slider. They're both going to be really hard. They're both going to be aggressive.
He was excellent in the final month of the season. Was the reliever of the month for September and October in the American League. And 99 miles an hour forces Castro into a defensive swing to run the count to 0-2.
Always fun to see guys fall into the role that they're supposed to be in and really thrive with it. He came up as a starter and was pretty good, but then as he embraced this reliever role and worked his way back into the very back end to finally closing, man, he just really took off. One of the best in the game.
Oh, 2. 1-2 on Jason Castro. 7 for 18 as a pinch hitter this season, but just 1 for 20 in his playoff career. His lone hit was in the American League Division Series in 2015 against Kansas City. Came back in mid-September, had a really nice close to the year, did Castro. Hendricks 1-2. "15-game, 15 2/3 inning scoreless streak to close the regular season for Liam Hendricks." "2-2 delivery." And the count runs full. Nice job by Castro to come back after being down 0-2. Altuve will bat. Got him. 2 down.
Just straight gas from Hendricks. 3-2. Here's my best heater, Jason Castro. Hit it if you can. Blows it right by him.
That ball's heavy, isn't it?
Sounds heavy from here.
Sounds heavy.
Nothing in 1 to Altuve. Game 4 tomorrow afternoon. We'll have coverage on FS1 at 3 Eastern time. Astros still 1 win away from reaching the American League Championship Series. 0-1. 0-2. There will be a game 4. Years since the last time this stadium hosted a playoff game. They didn't get to see it last year. The energy, the blackout. Their first home playoff win since Game 3 against the Rays in 2008. They were down 2-0 in that series. They were able to at least keep it alive for one more. It didn't start out great. Dylan Cease went just an inning and 2/3. The Astros had a 5-1 lead at one point. But the White Sox came back. It went back and forth, and then the White Sox added on late for a 12-6 Game 3 win to extend it to Game 4.
Perfect ending for the game. The Astros struck out a season-high tying 13 times in this game. Season-saving win for the White Sox. Great job by Tepera, Bummer, Kimbrel, Hendricks, the last 5 innings of the game. White Sox live to fight another day tomorrow.
Those guys you mentioned, they retired the last 15 Astros hitters. White Sox did not have an extra base hit until they blew up with a couple of them in the third. One of them belonged to Yasmani Grandal. He's down on the field with Tom Bertucci.
Oh, thanks, Adam. Well, Yasmani, you were down by 4 runs facing elimination. You won the game by 6. You won the game, but did you flip the momentum of this series?
I think so. I mean, I think we made a statement. I mean, like you said, we were down by 4. But you got to play a whole game. We've been doing this all year. We had big comebacks, and the fact that we did it there, I feel like we got the momentum back, and that's all we need. You know, as soon as that momentum shifts, then it's a go.
You got the comeback started with the home run, a 7-pitch at bat, changeup. Describe your approach as that at bat went along.
Well, I mean, they made it pretty clear how they wanted to attack me, especially when we got to that spot in the order. Doesn't seem like they want to challenge me at all. They just want to flip stuff up there and try to get myself out, try to get myself to chase. So I just told myself today, I said, you know, be you. You're either going to hit a home run or you're gonna walk. That's been me all year. So.
And hey, yeah, tonight we got to talk about your base running. 4th inning. Just describe that play for us. You hit the ground ball to first base to Gurriel. What happened next?
I start running, then all of a sudden he's throwing the ball right at me. I mean, didn't really think about what was going on at the plate. It just so happens that he threw the ball. I try to get my shoulder out of the way, hits me, and it gets away. When I got to the dugout, I just told these guys it was good base running. So we'll leave it at that.
Yes, Monty, thanks so much. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Back to you, Adam.
To confirm, Tom, what AJ was thinking earlier in the night about Grandal. It was a key play. It was part of a White Sox rally and a season-saving win for Chicago. Game 4 tomorrow. We'll see in 15 hours. For now, Kevin Burkhardt and company back in Los Angeles.